Make it count today at MetroFloridaMadison.com.
You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Heard the final whistle. That means the postgame is ready to roll. This is Green Bay Game Night, powered by ESPN Wisconsin. Live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios in downtown Milwaukee. Alongside Packers Hall of Famer Mark Tauscher, here's the Emmy Award winner, Homer.
All right, Homer's off in Connecticut, Marquette in Connecticut playing right now. So I'm Alex Strofe back with you, usually from Green Bay Game Day. On Green Bay Game Night, the Packers Hall of Famer Mark Tauscher will join me momentarily as the Packers lose in a glorified exhibition game here in Week 18. 16-3 the final. The Packers end the regular season 9-7-1 with a loss at Minnesota. This is going to be the look-ahead show. We'll talk a little bit about the game, some of the miniature takeaways we have from this one. But boy, oh boy, was that a weird one. That was a weird one. At one point, I actually thought I was having fun. And then I changed my mind. I don't know that that was very fun at all. Clayton Tune didn't have the opportunity to do anything. That offensive line was not good for the most part. A couple of highlights that we'll get to when Tauscher joins us. But all in all, that was just a disgusting performance. Calling a timeout, though. Calling a timeout with 1 second left to kick the field goal to avoid the shutout was awesome. I loved that. 16-3 the final. Packers 9-7-1, but they were locked into the 7th seed anyway. So I guess Ricky chimes in on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee, where you can join us at ESPN Milwaukee, at ESPN Madison on YouTube. On the radio, 100.5 ESPN in Madison and 620 WTMJ. Before I get to Ricky's comment and some of my thoughts from whatever the hell we just watched, I want to give you a heads up. New phone number today. We have a different phone number than we typically do on Green Bay Game Night. You are going to be calling Owen at ESPN Madison. The phone number to get into Green Bay Game Night. Let's start lining up those calls. 844-770-3776. Your reaction to the game, your thoughts ahead of the postseason as the Packers end the regular season on a 4-game losing streak. And I want everybody that calls in today to give me their favorite part of today's game. It was that bad. I want you to give me your favorite part of the game. 844-770-ESPN, 844-770-3776. That is the Carbless Talk and Text line. Your way in to Green Bay Game Night. So Ricky chimes in right off the bat on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee in the comment section. Says this: that was the most preseason, regular season game ever. And I got to be honest with you, Ricky, and I got to be honest with anybody that watched that game. I think that was worse than a preseason game. I think it was worse because there was no, hey, there's the starters for a possession. They looked good. That feels good. There was no feel-good story. Well, there was, but there wasn't like a real feel-good story of, oh, he could make the roster. I mean, what's the feel-good story from this? Barron Sorrell, I guess? Barron Sorrell was terrific. But that's a draft pick. That's a guy you've been waiting to see make the most of an opportunity, and he certainly does. 8 tackles, 1 for loss, a sack, and a fumble recovery for the rookie Barron Sorrell, who obviously had such a feel-good moment at the draft in Green Bay earlier, I guess last year now, but in April of last year. But that was the feel-good story. Preseason games have, like, baked-in feel-good story. I feel like there wasn't that many. Trayvon Diggs barely played, the new addition as of Wednesday. I mean, these are the guys who caught passes today. You ready for this? By the way, Clayton Tune only completed 6 of them. These are the guys that caught balls today. Jacoby Keeney-James was the leading receiver. He had 2 catches for 15 yards. Matthew Golden was targeted 3 times, only caught 1 of them for 8 yards. Josh Wiley had a 4-yard reception. Emmanuel Wilson had a 4-yard reception that was thrown behind the line of scrimmage. Anyway, and Drake Dabney finished with a 3-yard reception. Those were your receivers today. Brutal. That was a hard watch. But the good news is we can already put it in the rear view and turn our attention to everything that's going to kick off in about a half an hour. you have two options here, because I assume you're like me and you want a third part of the rivalry next week in Chicago. So you have two options, and I will let you pick which option you prefer. You can either root for the Bears to win over the Detroit Lions. You can have the student beat the teacher. Ben Johnson beat Dan Campbell here in Week 18. That solidifies Packers-Bears. Or you can root for the Commanders, who are playing the Eagles, who are not playing their starters. The Commanders beat the Eagles, it's Packers-Bears. The Bears beat the Lions, it's Packers-Bears. If the Bears lose and the Eagles win, the Packers go to Philadelphia, which, again, the NFC is so riddled with parity this year. I don't really care where they go. I just would love to see my favorite team, the Packers, go into Chicago and say, hey, by the way, we're still big brother, despite what happened a few weeks ago when Jordan Love suffered a concussion and there was a complete meltdown. So you can either root for the Bears today or you can root for the Commanders. I'll leave that up to you. I know which one I'm rooting for. It's the Commanders. But we will talk about that. We will talk about next week. We will talk about the Packers if they have a legitimate path in the NFC postseason. But want to get some of your thoughts on this game. 844-770-3776. 844-770-3776. Let's get to Jeff in Milwaukee right off the bat. Jeff, you are on Green Bay Game Night with Strofe. Your thoughts on the game, your favorite part of the game, and who would you rather see next week, Philadelphia or Chicago? The floor is yours.
Oh, my God. Okay, so, Alex, first of all, I want to tell you, I listened to some of the pregame show with you guys. It was a really good show. Yeah. You guys do a great job. Really good show. The show was actually better than the game today, unfortunately. So obviously, I would like to play the Bears, and just because I would like to beat Ben Johnson and play the Bears, and we kind of let him off the hook last time, and I think it would be some redemption for the Packers. The highlight of the game today, there was not really many highlights. I thought our defense actually played quite hard, which you would have to say they didn't do last week. So I thought that was encouraging. Our offensive line was obviously overmatched, as was the quarterback. So that's really about it. Alex, I actually have to ask you a favor. Can you do me a favor?
Sure. Yeah, sure.
So I was going to talk. Tauscher isn't on yet. Just let Tauscher know I sent him a little Christmas gift down to the suite on Washington Avenue, and I don't know how often he gets down there, but tell him next time he gets down to the suite on Washington Avenue to pick up a little gift I sent him for Christmas. Just appreciation for all the years that he's been doing it. Yeah, just appreciation for all the years he's been doing the show. Listen, Alex, great. Thanks for hosting. And, hopefully better things to come next week, right?
Yeah, definitely. And, Jeff, appreciate the call. Appreciate you always listening. Appreciate the kind words as well. That's Jeff in Milwaukee, our first caller up on the Carbless Talk and text line, which you can get in on 844-770-3776. And I like the optimism from Jeff there at the end. Hopefully better things next week, because I still think there were reasons to be optimistic about the Packers. What we watched today was not the Packers. You watched the junior varsity that might even be a diss still. I mean, that was the freshman Packers, right? You didn't see the varsity Packers today. You saw the freshman team Packers today. So I think there are things to still be optimistic about as Green Bay now turns their attention to attempting to win 3 road games as they try to get to the Super Bowl. Now, do I think that is likely? No. But can they win a playoff game on the road? Yeah, sure. Can they win 2 playoff games on the road? I think that's on the table. I still think when in a lot of matchups the Packers will see in the NFC, I think they are going to have the better head coach / play caller, the better quarterback, and the better defensive coach in Jeff Hafley. And, it is something that will fly under the radar today because, well, I don't think J.J. McCarthy's very good. I think you saw that from the get-go today. Right, he has that little rush, and Nixon hits him close to the out-of-bounds line. He gets called for taunting, and he ruins their opportunity to score a touchdown there. I was not impressed with J.J. McCarthy. Statistically, he's been one of the worst starters this season, and then he exits the game. He kind of retweaked his hand. I was not impressed with J.J. McCarthy. But Packers' defense was pretty good against them, all things considered. Now, Jordan Mason got to do a lot of what he wanted, 14 carries, 94 yards. But for this being the B/C team defense, I thought schematically, Hafley did a nice job today. He was shorthanded all over the place defensively. Neither of his starting linebackers, a bunch of their defensive linemen didn't play. A bunch of their defensive backs didn't play. You saw very little Trayvon Diggs in his first week in the green and gold. Yeah, I mean, that's where I'm at on that. 844-770-3776. Everybody's saying, hey, where's Sugar Free? Where's Sugar Free? I don't know. He hasn't called me yet. Can only take the calls I'm getting people. 844-770-3776 as the Packers fall to the Minnesota Vikings, a final of 16-3 in the regular season finale. All right, a little bit of cleanup from around the NFL. The Las Vegas Raiders have solidified the number 1 overall pick with a loss today. So the Raiders will pick first in the NFL draft. The Jacksonville Jaguars have solidified the AFC South, and it looks like the Texans were going to help them either way because the Colts lead them by a point with a couple minutes to go in that one. As we look at the NFC South, it is right now looking like it will be the Carolina Panthers in the playoffs. The Falcons lead the Saints 19-10 at the 2-minute warning. Saints with the ball, though, but in their own territory. They trail by 2 possessions with 2 minutes to go. 19-10, Falcons lead the Saints, which would put the Carolina Panthers in the playoffs, despite losing yesterday to the Buccaneers. This is the madness of Week 18, people, looking at scenarios, looking at different things. Because, look, us as Packers fans, we just watched the most meaningless football game I remember, frankly. I don't remember a game more meaningless than this. Like, I even remember we were talking with Brian Balaga about this in the pregame show. That 2011 team that finished 15-1, they rested the starters in what was week 17, only a 16-game schedule back then. But it still felt like they were playing for something, right? They're 15-1. This is a team that's known their fate. They're the 7th seed in the NFC. They've been riddled with injuries all season long, and obviously it's just continuing to stack. We saw Javon Bullard, and we'll get to that at some point. Saw Bo Melton go down. Obviously Jordan Love goes down a couple of weeks ago, a couple of other season-ending injuries each of the last several weeks. So, yeah, you're going to play it as safe as you possibly can here in this final game. That's effectively meaningless. The Vikings couldn't spoil anything. The Packers had an opportunity to look at some guys who are coming to training camp next year or could be playing significant roles, specifically on their offensive line next year. Could Clayton Tune be their backup quarterback if Malik Willis walks? And he's an unrestricted free agent. Odds are he will not be the backup quarterback next year. So you get a good look at Clayton Tune, and, well, it wasn't a very pretty one. So those are the things you're looking at, but we'll keep an eye on it. Waiting to hear from Sugar Free. I see your text. I see the YouTube comments. We're going to get the Sugar Free. I just haven't heard from him yet. 844-770-3776. It's a different phone number today. That might be our issue. 844-770-3776. And if you want to get in behind Sugar Free, that's your way in to do it on the Carbless Talking text line. The Packers Hall of Famer Mark Tauscher coming up shortly. Your phone calls coming up shortly. We will get through this. We will begin to look ahead. No matter who the Packers' opponent is in the wild card weekend, it's either the Bears or the Eagles, depending on the results of games that kick off in about 20 minutes. Packers fall to the Vikings in Week 18, 16-3. Your calls, Mark Tauscher, all still ahead right here on Green Bay Game Night.
More Green Bay Game Night coming up on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
Outfit your crew. Your workforce is your brand. From uniforms to safety apparel, Alpha Custom Apparel helps you outfit your team with gear that looks sharp and works hard. We create durable, functional apparel that keeps your crew comfortable and confident on the job. No more digging through endless catalogs. We handle the details so you can focus on running your business. With fast turnaround, custom options, and friendly Midwest service, we make it easy to keep your team looking their best. Visit alphacustomapparel.com. Let's get to work.
All day, every day, the Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
Experience hot gaming action and a relaxing spa day. Your perfect winter getaway at the island. Book a stay and float package to get both a standard room and a rejuvenating 60-minute float pod therapy session for less than $100. Complement your stay with an elevated dining experience at Horizon Steakhouse, followed by an evening of comedy in Club 41. The Island Resort and Casino's stay and float package runs through February. Call 800-682-6040 to book yours today. Certain days and restrictions apply.
Buying a new vehicle should be exciting, and that's what Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb aims to do. That's why they vow to give you the better buying experience. Jim Rutledge here. I've had 3 better buying experiences at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb, and I keep on going back because the experience and the Chevy is fantastic. So if you're looking for a buying experience you're going to want to repeat anytime you need a new or new-to-you vehicle, I recommend you make the short drive out to Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb, because you're only minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb.
Looking to take your baseball game to the next level? GRB Academy provides year-round training programs designed around your schedule and your goals. For over 15 years, GRB has been Wisconsin's leader in player development and advancement, with a state-of-the-art 52,000 square foot facility of elite baseball training space and coaches who know how to get results. From youth to high school, baseball players trust GRB to help them reach their next level. Training program spots are filling quickly, so don't wait. Register now at grbacademy.com.
It's all about the green and gold and nonsense on Kyle, Brust, and Nortman.
The Green Bay Packers will get to their final goal, winning the NFC North, maybe even a Super Bowl run, is to continue this identity of letting it rip. If you get too conservative, you're going to falter like they did earlier in the season. Let it rip, Matt LaFleur.
Do you firmly believe that's the foundation?
I do believe it is now.
Presented by Bud Light, the official beer of the NFL. Weekdays from 2 till 4 on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side. When you see Diamond Jim, you can count on him to be on your side. Selection beyond compare with on-site repair, so you can wear your jewelry with pride. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
Want to move better, play faster, and compete at a higher level? Train where Wisconsin's top athletes go. Total Athlete Performance. From middle school phenoms to the pros, TAP is Madison's #1 destination for speed, power, and athleticism. Their proven systems, expert coaches, and cutting-edge equipment help you dominate your sport. Can't make it in? Train anywhere with the TAP mobile app. Spots are filling fast, so don't wait. Visit tapwisconsin.com to schedule your free athletic assessment today.
We ask and you answer. Tune in to Jim, Matt, and Molly every weekday 4 to 6 and follow at Jim, Matt, Molly on X to vote in daily poll questions presented by Siding Unlimited. Trust Siding Unlimited with your next window and door project.
This is Derek Engler. You're listening to a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
You're listening to Green Bay Game Night on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
Green Bay Game Night continues. ESPN Wisconsin 620 WTMJ. The Packers lose their 4th straight game here in the Week 18 exhibition game against the Minnesota Vikings. A final of 16-3 in that one. Brutal. Just a kind of a tough watch. Joining us now on Green Bay Game Night, as he always does, is the Packers Hall of Famer and the Super Bowl champion, Mark Tauscher. And Tauschi, I call it an exhibition game. We'll see what you call it as it is time for the long-awaited opening statement after the longest game ever that was 2 hours long.
Yeah, it was a short game. It was exactly what I told, and I don't remember if I did the show with Homer or you last week, but after we lost to Baltimore, I said it's on to Chicago. Like the whole concept of understanding how things were going to play out, locked into the 7th seed. This was, and I heard a little bit of you, and I was driving home from one of my kids' basketball games. This is worse than a preseason game. There is nothing entertaining. You looked at how this. I was hoping you'd let it rip a little bit. You had a bunch of wideouts that aren't going to be playing next week. Let it go, and it just felt like this was one of those games we want to get on the bus, get off the bus, get back home, and bubble wrap everybody. And I understand it today. For the first time, and it's been like this for a little bit, this is the full-on NBAization load management of the NFL, and I don't like it one bit. So I don't know. I thought it would be pretty dull. It ended up being duller than I thought it was going to be. And I'm not happy to say that, but everything for me was on to Chicago. I think everything for the Green Bay Packers and Matt LaFleur said on to Chicago. And I hate the fact that the group that got to play today didn't really get out there and let it rip and showcase what they can do. There's some good defensive efforts from guys today, but offensively, it was a complete waste of everybody's time. That's my opening statement.
I think calling it a waste of everybody's time might even be a nice way to put it, Tauscher. That was a rough watch, but is what it is. It's over. It's done with, and it's like you said, on to Chicago. You keep saying on to Chicago, though. It could be Philadelphia technically.
No, it's not going to be. Philadelphia's mailed it in. Philadelphia's not playing.
Yeah, they're not playing starters today, but they're also playing Washington, who stinks. So I mean, there's a, and I don't think Dan Campbell's going to mail it in today. He'd love nothing more than Ben Johnson.
You saw all the games today. The teams that were interested in mailing it in mailed it in. There's not a return to sender on this stuff. It's you're mailing it in, you're done. You can't dumb your way into winning a football game in the NFL. You can't. And if you're not interested in doing that and you let everybody know it, you're gonna lose. And I think I don't mind Green Bay's approach today. I think there was some smartness to it. And I know there'll be some fans that disagree with that, and we'll see. The beautiful part about sports is the ultimate test will be you either right or wrong. And if you come out of this and you start slow and get your brakes beat in next week by Chicago, it was the wrong decision. Because, Jordan, that's just how this works. It's not fair, but it is how you're judged. So if Jordan Love played today and got hurt, that would have been the wrong decision. That's why these guys make big money. You make big boy decisions, and you have to live with them. I think at this point in the year, resting guys and giving guys opportunities, Christian Watson not playing, Josh Jacobs not playing, McKinney not playing, I'm all on board with it. I think it's smart. I legitimately thought today that old Tooney boy would get out there and complete some throws and make some plays. And the fact that we didn't even, I don't want to say we didn't try because I'm not going to go there. But it just felt like, let's just be done. And you heard all the commentators on CBS say, these guys just want to get the hell out of here. That's not good for your sport. It's just not. So I get it. It is what it is. I don't have to like it. Our fans don't have to like it. You shouldn't like it because I'm pretty sure the Green Bay Packers as an organization and Matt LaFleur don't like it because there's nothing. You have a bunch of super competitive cats and you're not competing at the fullest. That's a hard pill to swallow for everybody. So I just think when and if the NFL decides to go to 18 games, let's make sure this game is maybe we should think extra hard about not doing that. But I got a hunch that that's not going to be the case either.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Mark Tauscher, Alex Strofe with you. Green Bay game night, ESPN Wisconsin, and 620 WTMJ as old Tooney boy kind of, I like that nickname. It's not like he had a great opportunity, though, Tauscher. That offensive line was not great today. Couple of spots looked like Jacob Monk looked actually pretty comfortable at center. Jordan Morgan wasn't great at left tackle, which is the excuse that's continued to be made for the former first-round pick. I don't know how closely you watch Morgan at left tackle, but there were a couple of plays where you go, oh, boy. That's like what we've seen when he's played right guard and right tackle, and I just don't know if it's ever going to click for him, but it's going to have to, I assume, next year. But Toon didn't have any time. He got sacked 4 times. He only threw the ball 11 times, completed 6 of them. This was an audition of sorts for him to be in at least competition to be the backup next year, and I was not impressed by him. Real quick thoughts before we continue to look ahead to next week. But Toon was not impressive.
But he didn't get put. This was, I thought, an audition for him to put himself in the running to be the backup quarterback, or at least, be competitive with whomever they bring in. My guess is they'll draft somebody, and then maybe they'll. I thought maybe it could have been Clayton Tune. I don't think you can make an evaluation off it today. They didn't give him a chance. And whether it's the O-line or whether it's, 11 throws in an NFL game, you didn't get hurt, right? I just want to make sure I'm correct. He played the whole game.
He sure did, yeah. Sure did. We didn't have to see Jordan Love, who was the backup today.
Well, and I think, unfortunately, I do think, because I was getting texts during the game, like, what are we doing? You're not even giving these guys a chance. And Matt LaFleur was not going to let Jordan Love get in that game. He was not going to put Clayton Tune in any type of risk where it would even be considered any possibility of putting Jordan in, because that would have been crazy. To sit him and then bring him in the middle of the third quarter would have been nuts. So that was never going to be the case. This was Matt LaFleur. Maybe it was just, I don't want to show the Chicago Bears anything next week. I'm gonna look at things from a positive spin.
Well,
they didn't want to showcase any offensive stuff because that's the only other way. Otherwise, this was the least creative, boringest game plan you're ever going to be able to put together.
Yeah, I mean, it was that. I don't want to show Chicago anything, but it was also the number one priority today was health, and they got out of there with a pretty clean bill. Javon Bullard left with a knee injury, but Matt LaFleur said after the game he thinks he's fine. To go back to something you said earlier, though, how they decided, the NBAization, I believe you called it, of the NFL here. This is from Domovsky on Twitter. Packers coach Matt LaFleur said last year's regular season finale against the Bears when they lost Christian Watson to the torn ACL played a big part in how they handled today's game. Quote, I think we did the right thing today, end quote. But I guess on that, Tausch, I thought you said something that is correct. It could be viewed as the right thing. It could also be viewed as the wrong thing if they come out super flat next week in Chicago. If they come out and look like they haven't played in 3 weeks, which will be the case for Jordan Love, well, was that the right thing? Should you have treated it more like an actual preseason game rather than a really bad preseason game and had Jordan Love played 3 series? Like, that will be what's determined next week if he comes out looking flat.
Yeah, and last year was different in the fact that Green Bay could have earned the 6th seed. I believe had they won, and I think if Washington lost, then it was a tight game. So it was different here. When you know your fate is sealed, I understand. I don't have any problem at all with Matt LaFleur resting the guys we mentioned, Watson, and you are always going to look at past history when you're making decisions. Because what do they say? A fool is someone that continues to make the same decisions and think you're going to get a different result. Well, if you're going to continue to do that, but the bottom line is football players got to play football. And you can put guys in bubble wrap and you can protect them. And, the teams, Seattle Seahawks are going to have a bye. They're getting a week. 3 weeks is 3 weeks is an eternity in the NFL. And you can practice and do all that you want, but it's different when you get, especially on the road in a playoff game, the intensity, it's going to be different. And you can't have a bad quarter in a playoff game. You can't have, we started off slow. We had a couple of sloppy turnovers. That gets you beat. So Matt LaFleur, there's going to be, this is the life of an NFL coach. You're going to make decisions, and if they're right, you're a blanking genius. And if you're not, a lot of times people will lose their job, or you're going to be called every name under the sun, and everybody thinks you stink. That's the reality of being a coach in the NFL. And Matt LaFleur, for as many fans can say, we should have done this, he did what he felt is best. He trusts his guys. He knows and he believes that they will not come out flat. And as long as they don't, he's fine. But if they do, you're looking at a second straight season where you sneak into the playoffs and then you dribble out of the playoffs in the first round. And that's not good enough in Green Bay.
844-770-3776. Different number today. 844-770-3776 is your way into Green Bay game night. Before we get to a break, and we'll get to Flush It or Flush It coming up next, Tauscher, I do want your perspective on this. And I understand today the priority was not winning the football game. Today the priority was getting out of Minnesota as healthy as possible, and seemingly they accomplished that. But they've lost 4 in a row. When they play, if they play next Sunday, it'll be January 11th. That's well over a month. December 7th was the last time they won a game. How bad is that? No momentum at all in terms of getting in the win column.
Well, it's bad, but as I said throughout the week on our show, what is going to be done by every team, whether you're the Denver Broncos, the Patriots, these teams on these big streaks and winning 11 out of 12 or whatever, all of that does go out the wayside. Like this week, literally the time these guys get on that bus, it's over. It is a new season, and it is all about the next step, which is everybody is at 0-0. You know, guys have advantages, obviously, be playing at home and whatnot, but all of that other stuff it's about the feeling you have as a team. And do you feel like you can do it? And I would argue that Baltimore game is what's more concerning to me. Today's game's completely irrelevant. Completely. Mr. Irrelevant, you could call yourself for the next week Minnesota, Green Bay at Minnesota. Because this game was as irrelevant as you could have ever been. Psychologically, all of it. The Baltimore game was. Now, you didn't have Jordan, but that was a game that you felt like you needed to win. The Bears game, you can look at it and say we shoulda. Coulda, shoulda, woulda, but didn't. And that's why I think everybody feels so strongly they want the Chicago Bears, because they want another crack at that team that they think they're better than. And we'll find out hopefully next. I'm hoping for a Sunday noon. That's what I'm hoping for. I doubt they go Saturday, and I'm really not hoping for a Sunday night on NBC. What are we thinking this thing's going to land?
If it's Packers-Chicago, I think it's got a good shot to be Sunday night.
Even if it's Philly and the Rams or Philly and the Niners?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, but you know this game gets ratings, Tausch. This game gets ratings unlike any other game that
any chance it's a Saturday night?
I doubt that. I think I think last
too.
night will be the Saturday night, because it'll be Carolina and likely the Niners, could be the Rams yet, I believe. But if it's Niners Panthers, that'll be Saturday.
If the Rams win, they're the 5, right?
Yeah, so then it would be Rams Carolina, and I
the Rams are going to win. Then they're going to want to play Carolina. They don't want to go play Philly.
Either Philly or Chicago. Likely Philly, but it could be Philly or Chicago. Exactly. So we'll see. Packers have not won a road game since Thanksgiving. That's another good thing to highlight. 4-4-1 on the road this season. Now, again, 2 of those were winnable games, and that's the Denver game and the Chicago game. Until Micah and Christian Watson went down in Denver, the Packers were in control of that game, and then the Chicago game was just a total meltdown, even with Malik Willis playing quarterback. So I guess I'm not too concerned about going on the road, especially to Chicago. I think, and there's early lines out from DraftKings already, the Packers would be favored in that game if they go to Chicago next week. So I feel good about that. But can they win 3 road games in a row? That's a different question. And that's something that concerns me. But can they win 1? Certainly I feel good about that. Where are you at? You feel good about at least 1?
No doubt. I think that they're a better team than the Bears, and I think if you watch the games, you would say, other than the second half up at Lambeau and the last 3 minutes in overtime, again, that's a polluted mindset. I get all that. I believe Green Bay is just a better team. They got to go prove it, but the Bears' vibe is better. They believe they can beat us, but there's a little doubt, and I think that the pressure will be on them, although I'm not even sure who the pressure will be on. I think the pressure is more on Green Bay. The Bears are playing with house money, man. They didn't expect to win the division. They didn't expect to have this kind of first season under, their first-year coach. So all of that comes into play. I think in this NFC, if Green Bay doesn't have to play Philly or the Rams, I think that they have a great chance to go ahead and go do something crazy. I think if they have to play either of those 2 teams, I am not as confident. I'm not. And Seattle, if you can go ahead and win next week, you're going to Seattle, which is a tough place to play. But I'm not scared of Sam Darnold. I can tell you that.
I'm not either. No. No. Looked good enough last night, but that's a place you can go to and win for sure. All right, this is the moment all of our YouTube dwellers have been waiting for, Tauscher. Let's take this call, and then we'll hit a break. 844-770-3776. It's Shug. We waited for you to arrive to take Shug. He was not technically our first caller today. Shug.
Okay.
You were on Green Bay Game Night with Tauscher. Go ahead.
It was very difficult finding the phone number. I mean, I had to search Madison ESPN, and you can't find it. So I thought,
come on,
karma.
Strofe.
Well, karma.
Strofe,
Go to
how
karma.
many times have I said it, Shug? Shug, how many times have I said it? I've said it 100 times. You got to listen.
What do I have to listen?
Yelling at Shug. Don't be yelling at Shug.
I don't listen to Madison. I listen to Milwaukee.
Yeah. Shug. All right, Shug.
Sorry.
Give me some positive, baby. Give me something here. I know today is we're in agreement, right, Shug? Today was completely irrelevant.
Oh, it was worse than a preseason game.
Yep, no doubt.
It was so bad. It was so bad. Yeah, well, we're going to go in and beat up on the Bears. So that will be all good. Can't wait.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be good. Everybody rested. I told you guys.
Any concerns?
Yep.
Any concerns about the long layoff for Jordan? The lack of any wins or momentum in the month of December? Any of that, or do you think it's a clean slate and we're good to go?
Yep, clean slate, good to go.
All right.
What did our safety get hurt? Number 20, Bolton.
Yeah, Bullard did, but
Bullard?
It sounds like he'll be all right.
He'll be okay. Good. So yeah, I think we're good to go. We're good to go. Everybody just rest, relax, and get ready. They played them twice, right? We beat them basically twice. We should have. So
yeah,
I mean,
basically,
all you have to do, right? This is the key before I let you go. The key to the game: containment. I don't care if you sack the quarterback. What happened in the last game? Containment. Contain the quarterback so he can't get outside. Stop the run. Containment. That's it.
Containment. Thanks, Shug.
Containment.
Sorry
for yelling at you, Shug.
Yeah.
I like the dose of optimism there from Shug. Sugar-free in Green Bay on the Cardinals Target text line.
Is there, besides Carolina, do you think Packer fans have anybody else they'd rather play than the Bears? You pick the matchup. You don't get the 1 seed. You're on the road. You get to pick the other 6 teams or 5 teams that are available. Is there anybody that would rank higher than the Bears of who Packer fans want to play?
I don't think you're picking anybody in the West. Rams,
No.
Niners, Seahawks?
No, it's Panthers or Bears. I don't think we want Philly either. I don't think our fans do.
I was going to say the other 3 options are teams you all lost to this year. You lost to Carolina, you lost to Chicago, you lost to Philadelphia already.
Mm-hmm.
So, weird way to look at it. But, Carolina would be number 1. They're clearly the weakest team in the NFC. And then it's Chicago, because I still think you have their number, regardless of the meltdown in Chicago a couple weeks ago, and then it's Philly after that. Because Philly, despite I think they've won 3 in a row, I still don't think that offense is very good at all. So we will continue to preview next week. We will continue to talk about the wild card and the path for Green Bay, and we will continue to look at scores as those games kick off right now. Washington and Philly, Chicago and Detroit. We will keep an eye on those scores and let you know if anything changes. Could it be Philadelphia? Tauscher doesn't think so, but we will keep an eye on that for you. Before we get to flush it on the other side, Tauscher, tell us about your friends at Tito's Handmade Vodka.
Oh, I will indeed. Tito's Handmade Vodka. It is distilled by Tito right down there in Austin, Texas. And you know what? They make great drinks. We had the holiday season. If you wanted cranberry, if you wanted to go early and mix something up before 10 a.m. and you want a little spicy bloody, put a little Tito's in there. Tito's handled the holidays beautifully for us. I'm sure it did for you. They make great drinks. And they also give back to the community in a big way and doing good for dogs. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation in Austin, Texas. And it is crafted to be savored responsibly.
Flush It or Flesh It is coming up next on Green Bay Game Night.
We're back with Green Bay Game Night after this on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Can you feel it? It's the thrill of witnessing a walk-off grand slam, a game-winning touchdown, a buzzer-beating 3. Yeah, you know the feeling. And there's only one place to experience that raw exhilaration. Potawatomi Sportsbook. Catch all the action in a supreme space with dozens of sports betting kiosks, cool drinks, luxe seating, great food, fiery atmosphere, and a monster video wall. Become a legend at Potawatomi Sportsbook. More info online. Must be 21 to enter casino.
It's December, which means it's truck weather, and nobody helps you gear up like Metro Ford of Madison. Right now, get a 2025 Ford F-150 with 0% APR for 60 or 66 months, with $0 down and no payments for 90 days. The 2025 F-150 2.7L SDX is here with 0% APR, plus $1,250 retail bonus cash, $1,000 open bonus cash, and $1,000 MBC. But hurry, offers end January 5th. It's truck weather, so make it count today at MetroFordofMadison.com.
Hi, this is Lee, inviting you to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. We got a great happy hour every day of the week from 4 o'clock to 7, and our patio during the summer is open too. If you're getting married, special occasion, a birthday, anniversary, or even a business meeting, we've got all the accommodations right here at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. You work hard and sometimes you're not sure what you want to do, where you want to spend your money. I want to encourage you to come into Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and say hello. It'd be a pleasure to meet you.
Pro Volleyball is back in Madison. The 2026 Love Madison schedule is here. Setter of the Year Lauren Carlini and hometown favorite Claire Chaussee return to the court, ready to lead a powerhouse lineup of world-class talent. Get ready for non-stop action. Every serve, every volley, and every win, right here in Madison. Don't miss your chance to be a part of the unforgettable moments all season long. Visit lovb.com to check out the full schedule and secure your seats today. Volleyball is the next major league.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
They treated me like family. They're actually people that you can depend on.
They made me feel seen. They really treated me like I was a part of their family, a part of their team.
They ask how you're doing, how you're feeling.
They're just so welcoming and so sweet and kind.
It's like family, caring about another member of the family.
If you've been injured, it costs you nothing to see if Gruber Law Offices can help.
Hold your friends close and your rivals closer on Jim, Matt, and Molly.
Matt, when we were out at the Packer game, your friend even admitted that he checks out mentally when you start to tell him
he did
recipes. Yes. I don't even bring up food around you anymore because it's too much.
And Thomas is a terrible cook, so he can't follow the recipes anyway.
Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light. Weekdays 4 to 6 on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
Hey, it's John Hayes, owner of Goodman's Jewelers. Come in and discover the high standards, classic traditions, honesty, integrity, and elegance when you walk through our doors. For over 90 years, customers have returned again and again to our warm boutique setting. Trust me, because I've been there for over 40 of them. Whether it's time to come back or your first time in, stop by Goodman's Jewelers at 220 State Street today. Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison since 1933.
The best is at Goodman's.
Ben Brust here to tell you about the Princeton Club. If you're looking for a place where you can better yourself while having a wonderful atmosphere, you have it at the Princeton Club. Strong communities, strong body, and strong mind. All it takes is one small step to start today. You will see that you have everything you need in order to achieve all of your goals. Find your better tomorrow at the Princeton Club. 8 Madison locations where you go in there, you take a tour, and you realize this is a place for me. Find more at PrincetonClub.net.
You're listening to Green Bay Game Night on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ. Flush it.
We failed multiple times with bad ideas. I didn't know were bad till I realized they didn't work.
Or flesh it.
Yeah, that's one idea. Or we can work as a team.
Brought to you by Gordon Flesh Company. Business technology managed. Taking the worry out of your office equipment and IT needs.
Green Bay Game Night continues. Alex drove in for Homer alongside the Packers Hall of Famer Mark Tauscher after the Packers' regular season-ending loss to the Minnesota Vikings, a final of 16-3, technically. A last-second field goal.
Strophy, I'm going to tell you something. I had what I thought. I went down to Hard Rock Casino Rockford, which is a great partner of ours on Wilde and Tausch, in June. 9.5 wins for the Green Bay Packers. They're at 9 wins in December. You got 4 weeks to win one blanking game. Then this is what happens. Not real happy.
I mean, that Chicago game's got to be infuriating in retrospect.
It's a tough one. That's a tough one. Denver was tough too. Once we lost to Baltimore, I knew it was over. I knew today was done. So.
I'm sorry.
We'll move it along.
Sorry to hear that.
That's all right.
Yep.
We'll live.
Keep her moving. All right, we will get to Flush It or Flush It. But Tauscher, Flush It or Flush It, brought to us by your friends at Gordon Flush Company.
Indeed, it takes a team to meet just about any goal. That's as true on the football field as it is in the office. The Gordon Flush Company has been providing cutting-edge technology for companies of all sizes for over 65 years. Visit gflush.com to learn more.
And we welcome in our listeners on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee following Connecticut topping Marquette today in college hoops. It's Green Bay game night. He's Mark Tauscher. I'm Alex Strofe with you. All right, flush it or flush it, Tauscher. The Packers, I know you said it's Chicago. We're on to Chicago. It's Chicago. This will be the last time I bring up Philadelphia until we actually have to bring up Philadelphia.
Okay.
Flush it or flush it, the Packers can win on the road in Philly, unlike last year.
Yeah, they can. I don't think it's as good of a matchup. I think Philly's defense, they obviously had some things figured out. Now, I don't remember how much Watson, if and when he was back, where he was at that point. He obviously makes a huge difference. But Philadelphia's defense is the real deal. And I've seen teams run it. You know, the Bears obviously ran it down their throat on the day after Thanksgiving. But for the most part, they give themselves a chance. And they're the defending world champions. And I got my little deal here that I always put up.
Here we go.
Never underestimate the heart of a champion. I just think there's better matchups for us. I think that unless something crazy happens today, I want to be in Chicago. I want this team to go down to Chicago and exercise and shut a lot of those folks up, the Rutledges and the Kaplans, the crew. Bears fans are feeling themselves, and deservedly so. But nothing would be sweeter than going down there. And I'm not just saying beat them. I think our offense can have a day against that defense. We've seen it. You just got to score touchdowns, not kick field goals.
You see what San Francisco did last Sunday, right? I mean, 38 points on Sunday Night Football in an absolute shootout. Now, the Bears kept pace, but San Francisco wins that game by scoring 38 on that D. I mean, it's doable. It's doable if Jordan Love is on his A game, and I certainly think he should be after a couple weeks of rest. All right, next one, Barron Sorrell should get real opportunity defensively next week after 8 tackles, a sack, a tackle for loss, and a fumble recovery today for Green Bay.
I think he could definitely work his way into the rotation, but at this point, I mean, you're going to go with those guys. I think Sorrell, this is maybe the one thing that you could take away from the game today is that Sorrell was able to do some things. Now, Minnesota, I know their left tackle was out. I don't know how many of their O-linemen they played the whole way through. I think O'Neal. I know O'Neal played through the first half. I don't know if he stayed out there. But, yeah, I think he's earned the right. But I want Enigbare. And Rashawn Gary's going to play snaps. Lucas Van Ness is going to play snaps. You're not going to go away from your guys. Now, does that mean Sorrell can maybe get a couple more opportunities? Absolutely. He's earned them. That's when you play, you give coaches a look into what you can do. They want to see more. Whether or not that's going to happen here, for surely next year he'll get those opportunities. But I still think you're going to see Enigbare, and I think you're going to see Gary, and I think you're going to see LVN.
Yeah, you're right. Those are 3 guys we didn't see, I don't think, any of today defensively for Green Bay. But Rashawn Gary's been so ineffective, Tausch. And it's to the point where if you've got a guy like Barron Sorrell, and I'm not saying he's going to do what he did today in limited snaps against, say, Chicago next week. But if you've got a guy who's wreaking that much havoc and is pretty fresh, all things considered, would you hate seeing him rotate in for Rashawn Gary a little bit here and there? I certainly would.
No, I think Rashawn Gary's snap counts have continued to dip, and I don't know if it's been like a soft benching or I know there's been how Jeff Hafley has commented on things, and then I thought Matt LaFleur was pretty honest. Yeah, if you're going to give repetitions now, I think Sorrell is one of those guys. He's elevated himself to being one of those cats that you're going to put out on the field. But you're going to stick with your guys. You rested him for a reason today. You rested those guys, and they're going to get out there and they're going to have to make plays in the pass game against Chicago or Philly. And hopefully Sorrell has at least put himself on the radar to get more opportunities than maybe what he's gotten. I think he's been inactive for a lot of games this year. So at least get him out there, get him some looks, and hopefully he can have all you need is 1 or 2 splash plays in a playoff game, especially in the role that he would be in.
Last one in Flush It or Flesh It, Tauscher. 1 catch for 8 yards for the rookie Matthew Golden today. He now joins a tremendous list. Now, 8 first-round wide receivers since the 2015 NFL Draft have recorded 0 touchdowns in their rookie seasons. Listen to this list. It's not a good one. 2015, Kevin White of the Bears. 2016, Laquan Treadwell of the Vikings and Josh Doxson of the Washington football team. 2017, Corey Davis of the Titans, Mike Williams of the Chargers, John Ross of the Bengals. 2021, Kadarius Toney of the Giants. And now 2025, Matthew Golden of the Packers. First-round wide receivers with 0 touchdowns in their rookie campaign. My question for you, Flush It or Flesh It, you are disappointed by Matthew Golden's rookie campaign.
Absolutely. I don't know how you couldn't be. Matthew Golden is disappointed in Matthew Golden's rookie season. Now, don't write him off and say, there's plenty of guys in Strophe, you were just a young pup. But in 2016, when we started our show, there were conversations with Devontae Adams, who was coming off of a bad ankle. Yeah. We should keep Jeff Janis in the rotation ahead of Devontae because he wasn't popping. He had his good first year, and then that second year he dipped. And receivers take a little time, and I thought this year Matthew Golden had an opportunity. He had a few splash games where he did some. I think Arizona, he had a couple of nice catches. But for the most part, I think it's a little humbling as a first-round wideout when you go into a really good organization and you're not the center of attention. And I don't know if he handled that well. I'd love to hear more about this after the season. You kind of just got a sense that he didn't. I'm not saying that is fact. I'm just saying my observations because it is hard when you have high expectations for yourself and you're a first-round pick. When the numbers and the opportunities aren't coming like you think, you can get discouraged. And that's not a place to be in this league. You have to just keep going and working, and eventually those opportunities will come. I don't think it's going to be this year. Listening to Adam Stenovich, the offensive coordinator, what he said, I don't think the playoffs are going to be where he's at. Maybe I'll be wrong, and I'll be glad. But the talent is there, and I think maybe this is another reminder when we're always sitting there around March and April about the draft, and, we need to do a first-round wideout. Had a lot of second, third, seventh-round wideouts that have been really good. And by the way, haven't started off all gangs of fire. It started off a little slower too, but you don't have all this criticism and all of this extra scrutiny that maybe is discouraging. And that's where we're at with Matthew Golden, unfortunately.
Yeah, you're right about that. All right, new phone number today, the Cardinals Talk and Text line, 844-770-3776. Again, different number than normal, 844-770-3776. We've got about 20 minutes left with Tausch. I want to get to some of your phone calls before we let him go. We will also get to our dog of the game presented by Sit Means Sit, and that is coming up next. It's Green Bay Game Night, ESPN Wisconsin, 620 WTMJ.
More Green Bay Game Night coming up on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Put a little wow in your winter at the 31st Annual Lake Geneva Winterfest and America's Snow Sculpting Invitational, January 28th through February 1st. Watch 15 top teams create breathtaking masterpieces in snow right before your very eyes. Enjoy bonfires on the beach, a kids' play area, live entertainment, and a sparkling downtown ice sculpture walk. Plan your Winterfest getaway at visitlakeggeneva.com. Lake Geneva, where it's always been the place for winter magic.
Experience hot gaming action and a relaxing spa day. Your perfect winter getaway at the island. Book a stay and float package to get both a standard room and a rejuvenating 60-minute float pod therapy session for less than $100. Complement your stay with an elevated dining experience at Horizon Steakhouse, followed by an evening of comedy in Club 41. The Island Resort and Casino's stay and float package runs through February. Call 800-682-6040 to book yours today. Certain days and restrictions apply.
If you're still hunting for that perfect holiday gift, trust me, go see Jim at Condon Jewelers. They've got the best gold prices in town, so your budget goes further and your gift looks way more impressive under the tree. And hey, holiday shopping can be stressful. If you've picked out the wrong gift, don't worry. Jim and the team at Condon will help you bring it back and find the right one. No pressure, no hassle. Just the kind of help you wish every store offered this time of the year. So make it easy on yourself and make it unforgettable for them. See Jim at Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
Home is where the heart is, and at the heart of every home is a warm furnace. Let Shackelford Heating and Cooling ensure your residence receives the best Dane County has to offer. HVAC repair since 1986, their experienced contractors are Carrier certified, specializing in replacements and service for residential customers. Plus, they offer affordable financing and energy-saving solutions. Schedule your install or maintenance evaluation today at shackelfordheating.com. Shackelford Heating and Cooling. Quality work guaranteed.
Celebrate the season of Audi at Audi Madison. Take advantage of 1.99% APR for 72 months when you purchase a 2025 Audi Q5 Quattro. National customer credit is good towards the purchase, finance, or lease of a new Audi, but only available until January 5th. Stop in and test drive today. Check out AudiMadison.com to see current inventory and specials. Start your adventure at Audi Madison today, off the Beltline and Rimrock Road.
Ho, ho, ho! Come see what the buzz is all about at Madison Axe, Madison's state-of-the-art entertainment spot. Enjoy 8 lanes of axe throwing, interactive games, plus digital target projection and scoring. For even more fun, check out their indoor backyard with 2,000 square feet of shuffleboard, cornhole, yard games, bar table games, and more. Perfect for date night, groups, corporate meetings, or private events. Madison Axe is your destination for all things fun. Throw it, nail it, celebrate. Go to MadisonAxe.com or head to their location on Stoughton Road today.
Every event tells a story, from the first impression to the final moments. Have someone guide your guests through every chapter the way you want the story told. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With a strong presence, great voices, and an award-winning team, trust us to guide, direct, and inform your guests through all the different chapters of the day. For fun, memorable entertainment for any event, please visit us at celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Want to move better, play faster, and compete at a higher level? Train where Wisconsin's top athletes go. Total Athlete Performance. From middle school phenoms to the pros, TAP is Madison's #1 destination for speed, power, and athleticism. Their proven systems, expert coaches, and cutting-edge equipment help you dominate your sport. Can't make it in? Train anywhere with the TAP mobile app. Spots are filling fast, so don't wait. Visit tapwisconsin.com to schedule your free athletic assessment today.
You're listening to Green Bay Game Night on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
Green Bay Game Night continues. ESPN Wisconsin 620 WTMJ. The Packers lose the regular season finale to the Minnesota Vikings, a final of 16-3. I feel dirty calling it a regular season finale, Tausch. That was like a glorified exhibition game. It wasn't really a regular season. It has no pop.
I'm actually wondering, if you're a cultured guy, right? You go to Jesse, our producer, goes on a bunch of to the Overture Center. He goes to these plays, and I'm just starting to try to think like the Seinfeld episode where Bette Midler got drilled at home plate, and they brought in the understudy. And you go to the play, and you still at least get the play, but you don't have the stars. And that's preseason football. I didn't feel like we got the play today. I don't even think did we get a play? If you're going to the theater, did you actually get a play? Because you didn't get an offense trying to score points.
Right.
Like, help me understand this. This was not – we can all understand what it is. And then I just saw one of the quotes that just came across my desk about Matt LaFleur. If Jordan Love went in the game, he was never going to throw the football. If something happened to Tune, he was never going to throw the football. What are we doing? Mm-hmm. Like, I get it, and I know you couldn't bring up Ritter. There must have been something with the practice squad. And I understand all of it. I get the whole concept, but it is a complete – it's a disservice. I think anybody that bought season tickets and went to that game, anybody walking out of there feeling any kind of fulfillment, No, because that was not a competitive NFL football game that we watched. It just wasn't.
Yeah, it's almost like you went to a production and expected a full-blown musical, but all you got was the orchestra. You didn't have the actors. You didn't have the play. You just had some instrumental being played.
Yeah, I don't know if we can. I'm not sure how the theater thing. I just was thinking because we all understand, people get hurt. There's injuries, and the NBA's been dealing this for years. You drive all the way to Milwaukee, and you want to watch Giannis, and you wanted to watch, Chris Middleton, and all of a sudden it was just, well, it fits for us that we need to give these guys a night. Tough luck. You get it, but that doesn't mean guys aren't going to go out there and shoot threes and do. Today, I don't think you can look at it and say that this offense tried to function on an NFL level today, because they didn't. You just didn't see it. So,
well, you have until
again,
you have until
understood.
9 a.m.
I understand it.
Yeah.
Here's what I would say: I understand it. I don't like it, and I don't think fans should like it, because that today, it is what it is, and it wasn't.
But again,
great.
like I said earlier, Tauscher, I guess I'm glad they're healthy. The goal today was to get out healthy, and they did, all things considered. And, you can be concerned with momentum. You can be concerned with 4 losses in a row. You can be concerned going into Wild Card Weekend, not winning a game in a month. But at least their quarterback's healthy, right? And that was something that if he had played, that's the concern. And that's something we spent a ton of time on in the pregame show, because Jordan Love was suited up and was the backup today, had anything gone awry for Clayton Tune. And he got hit hard at one point, where you go, oh no! Like if you're putting Love in there, handoff, punt, handoff, punt. That is the strategy if Love had to go in that game. All right, not going to be easy to choose from, but we are going to attempt to do it. It is time now for our Sit Mean Sit dog of the game.
It's time for the Sit Mean Sit dog of the game.
You see these dogs in your front yard?
Jordan Love.
Dog. Josh Jacobs. Dog. Michael Parsons. Dog.
Matthew Golden. He's a dog.
Presented by Sit Mean Sit Dog Training in Waukesha and Milwaukee. Visit sitmeansit.com.
You gotta be the dog. And I'm like, we got dogs.
The only name said in that open that played today was Matthew Golden, and he had a reception for 8 yards. So I don't think he's going to be our dog of the game. The dog of the game brought to you by Sit Mean Sit. If your dogs don't always listen to you, or you ask yourself, why don't they listen to what I say? Look no further than Sit Mean Sit. You can have a happy, confident, and obedient dog. Contact Sit Mean Sit Dog Trainer today in Milwaukee or Waukesha to schedule a free consultation. Go to sitmeansit.com and check out the Milwaukee and Waukesha pages. Woof, woof. Tausch, your dog of the game.
Yeah, I think there's 2 people that you could look at. We just discussed one, whether or not he's going to earn more opportunities on the defensive line, and Sorrell, and I think that's a solid pick. But somebody that has not participated in a lot of games this year because we go for it a lot. We're very aggressive with what we're doing. And old Daniel Whelan. Daniel Whelan, the punter. 8 punts. Wow. That's probably more punts than he had definitely in the month of December. For 431 yards, averaging 54 yards a kick. In a game where it wasn't really a game, Daniel Whelan was a star. He was my woof woof, not like a bellowing woof, but a woof woof dog of the game.
Yeah, I like that pick. That's where I was going to go ahead. You go in the Sorrell direction, which I will go in a moment. But you highlighted the awesome statistics for him where I don't think he's punted, Tausch, since the Denver game. Is that right? Because they didn't punt against Chicago.
He didn't punt the Bear game, and I don't think
Baltimore.
he punted last week. Yeah, you might be right. I'm not going to
punted 8 times today. You mentioned the average. He had a long of 68, which was later in the game. And he also, 5 of those 8 wound up inside the 20. Again, the goal was never to win the game today for Green Bay, I don't think. I don't think they went in there going, hey, we really want to win today. But, hey, he put them in a position to compete. Had Jordan Love and the normal starters been playing, 16 points allowed by that defense and some really good bad field position, I guess, set up by Daniel. How do you say that? Whelan? Daniel Whelan?
Whelan. Yeah.
Okay. The Whelanator. Yep. Nice game by him. I will take the low-hanging fruit of Baron Sorrell. He was all over the place defensively. I tweeted this during the game, Tash, but you may remember in the offseason, just about every day in our YouTube live streams, Barron's father, Barry, would come in and comment, 99 will shine. Do you remember this offseason?
Okay. No, I like that, though.
But Barry Sorrell, during training camp, 99 will shine, and then he'd leave. He'd dip into silence and darkness. 99 certainly shined today. 8 tackles, a sack, a fumbled recovery. A really good game for him all over the field. So I would like to see more of him. We will see if that's the case coming up next week. That is our dog of the game. We will get to Tauscher's closing statement coming up next on Green Bay Game Night, ESPN Wisconsin, 620 WTMJ.
We're back with Green Bay Game Night after this on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Badger fans, get ready to give back and chuck some pucks. Join Wisconsin Men's Hockey Friday, January 9th as the Badgers host Chuck a Puck, presented by BMO when they take on Alaska Anchorage at 7 p.m. Donate new or gently used recess equipment for the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County to earn your chance to throw a puck on the ice after the game and win prizes like a Wisconsin hockey jersey, signed sticks, or 2026-27 season tickets. Get your tickets to the game now and learn more at uwbadgers.com.
It's December, which means it's truck weather, and nobody helps you gear up like Metro Ford of Madison. Right now, get a 2025 Ford F-150 with 0% APR for 60 or 66 months, with $0 down and no payments for 90 days. The 2025 F-150 2.7L STX is here with 0% APR, plus $1,250 retail bonus cash, $1,000 open bonus cash, and $1,000 MBC. But hurry, offers end January 5th. It's truck weather, so make it count today at MetroFordofMadison.com.
Listen to Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin on 100.5 ESPN.
You get one win in the playoffs, man. I'm telling you, momentum is a hell of a deal. If the Rams had the 1 seed, I would say we don't have a shot. All of a sudden, I'm not saying, but I ain't saying it ain't, I've seen crazier blank happen.
Wilde and Tausch, weekdays 9 to noon on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
Is back pain slowing you down? The OAW Spine Center offers specialized care with advanced treatments for herniated discs, spinal fusion, and more. Their board-certified orthopedic care specialists use the least invasive methods, starting with non-surgical options. If surgery is needed, they provide minimally invasive procedures. The OAW Spine specialists focus on getting you back to an active lifestyle faster. The OAW Spine Center. There is a difference. Visit OAWSpineCenter.com.
Ho Chunk Gaming Madison is giving away $85,000 in cash this month in our double rollover jackpot. There will be 5 drawings every Tuesday and Friday throughout January. 10 winners every week. But you have to be here because if the winner isn't present, their prize rolls over to the next jackpot. Every Tuesday drawing is for $1,000 and Friday drawings are for $2,000. Then on Friday, January 30th, there are 5 $5,000 prizes. Don't let time tick away. Get to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison.
In the next 30 seconds, I'm going to tell you how to save money and save the planet. It's simple. Ditch your energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar. While electricity prices keep rising, Everlight Solar will give you the chance to take ownership of your power while also reducing your carbon footprint. As a local company based out of Madison, they'll be there with you every step of the way as you make the switch to solar. To learn more about how you can save money and save the planet, go to everlightsolar.com.
Hi, I'm John Hayes of Goodman's Jewelers. It's hard to imagine, but Goodman's has been the diamond store of Madison since 1933, which means your parents, maybe even your grandparents might have shopped with us. We maintain the same high standards, honesty, and integrity that kept them coming back time and again. Keep their history and our history alive. Shop Goodman's Jewelers today in the heart of Madison at 220 State Street. We're online at goodmansjewelers.com.
The best is at Goodman's.
Hey, it's Jim Rutledge, and if you're like me, you want to look good, feel good, and still enjoy life. That's why I go to Carbon World Health. Whether it's recovery after a long week, boosting energy, or getting your fitness dialed in, Dr. Nestor Rodriguez and his team have you covered. And now, they've got a new med spa in Sun Prairie that has everything you need to look as good as you feel. Carbon World Health isn't just a gym, it's a total wellness experience. Visit carbonworldhealth.com to learn more.
You're listening to Green Bay Game Night on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Green Bay game night continues. ESPN Wisconsin 620 WTMJ. I'm Alex Strofe in for Homer tonight. A few more minutes with the Packers Hall of Famer and Super Bowl champion Mark Tauscher. As the Packers lose in Week 18, but it really doesn't matter. It's all attention on what will come next week. Right now, a quick score update for you. The Lions lead the Bears in the second quarter, 3-0. And over in Eagles Commanders, the Eagles have a 7-0 lead. So if this holds, and again, it's early second quarter in both of these games, but if this holds, Packers would go to Philadelphia, not Chicago. But Tausch, you're not sweating that, are you?
Well, I mean, I would have thought that the Eagles were, as they're mailing it in, I guess I had to forget that the Commanders are also mailing it in. And when you get two mail-ins, it gets a lot trickier because now you got a lot of mail coming in. You don't know who's. You get a lead. I think Washington probably wants to lose because they want to have a better draft pick. I think Mariota's not playing for them. So,
no, Josh Johnson,
Dan
their quarterback
Campbell
today, who's played for a third of the league.
Yeah, 7 might be insurmountable there. So I thought that the Bears would beat the Lions. I still think they will. But Dan Campbell doesn't want to end with that sour taste in his mouth from last weekend. And he's going to do everything he can to lay it on him. And the fact that the Bears have won a quarter without scoring after what we saw in San Francisco, I, as a Packer fan, want us to go to Chicago. I think it's in our best interest. I don't love our chances going to Philly. I love our chances going to Chicago. And that's why I was kind of just manifesting it. But as we sit here right now, and you just gave those score updates, we'd be heading to Philly.
A lot of ball game left in both of those, though. It's early second quarter in both. But the Lions are driving here early second quarter. They are just outside of the red zone against Chicago with a 3-0 lead. So we'll keep an eye and keep you posted on the scores there. But, Tausch, you got to get out of here, so I give you the floor. The regular season in the books, the Packers for the third season in a row are the 7 seed in the NFC. Your closing statement as we head into the postseason.
Yeah, it's a huge, tall task for the Green Bay Packers ahead of it with the terrible month of December that has come with the injuries and with all of the things that have fallen on them. I did think this offense was really starting to find its groove post-Tucker Kraft. Thought Jordan Love was finding his groove, and they're going to need to do that with whomever they play next week. But this is a crazy season. There isn't a juggernaut. Everybody is flawed. There's not one team that this team can't beat. And as we saw earlier with the Carolina Panthers, there's not one team that this team cannot get beaten by. But Green Bay, I trust and believe that their offense will be one of the better offenses in this NFC. And I think when you combine both the defense and the offense, I think we're right there as complete of a team, offensively and defensively, right there with the Rams and the Seahawks. I think the three of us have the best offense-defense mix. Whether or not that's going to be good enough to go on the road and do what is a huge challenge, it will be matchup-based, and it's going to be how this team responds to this layoff that they've had. We don't know the answers to that, and I guarantee you this. We're all going to be a heck of a lot more intrigued next week on this show than we were today.
Well said, my friend. Well said, as always. That is the Packers Hall of Famer Mark Tauscher. More with him beginning at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning with Jason Wilde on Wilde and Tausch. Thanks, Tausch.
All right, see you, Trophy.
New number today, 844-770-3776. 844-770-ESPN is the Carvel's Talk and Text line your way in to Green Bay game night to react to the regular season finale, but also preview what's to come. Do you have any concerns heading into Wild Card Weekend? We pointed it out, the Packers end the regular season losing 4 in a row. Now, today doesn't really matter, right? It's really 3 in a row prior to this week because nobody played today. There's some good things you can take away, kind of. But this one didn't really matter. But still, they haven't won since December 7th. It will likely be January 11th when they play and look to win on the road in the postseason. So any concerns, where is your head at as a Packers fan? It's a brand new season starting next week. 844-770-3776. No, a couple of you are waiting on hold. We will get to you. We will get to Gary Ellerson as well in the 4 o'clock hour of Green Bay game night. That is coming up next right here on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
More Green Bay game night coming up on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Put a little wow in your winter at the 31st Annual Lake Geneva Winterfest and America's Snow Sculpting Invitational, January 28th through February 1st. Watch 15 top teams create breathtaking masterpieces in snow right before your very eyes. Enjoy bonfires on the beach, a kids' play area, live entertainment, and a sparkling downtown ice sculpture walk. Plan your Winterfest getaway at visitlakegeneva.com. Lake Geneva, where it's always been the place for winter magic.
Greg Scalzo here for Buck and Honeys. Congratulations to the perennial Best of Madison Award winner by the folks at Madison Magazine. Meet me at Buck and Honeys to celebrate Wisconsin hospitality. Whether you're enjoying the view on the Yahara River in Monona, exploring Wanakee, visiting the OG in Sun Prairie, or checking out the new location in Mount Horeb, you can enjoy the Buck and Honeys experience in a neighborhood near you. Serving lunch and dinner 7 days a week with brunch every Saturday and Sunday. I'll see you at Buck and Honeys.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right and naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about anything, from the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys. Tito's is known for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Inc., Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
At Grunberg Law Offices, we take great pride in helping those who have trusted us after a serious accident. Our team has the knowledge, resources, and experience to get you the results you deserve. Don't wait to get the help you need. Make the right call. Call Grunberg Law Offices today. Proud partner of your Milwaukee Bucks. One call, that's all.
It takes a team to meet just about any goal, and that's as true on the football field as it is in the office. So it's good to know that you have the Gordon Flesch Company on your side. For more than 60 years, GFC has provided cutting-edge office technology for companies of all sizes, and as the nation's largest Canon dealer, GFC delivers the latest office technology, serviced, and is supported by the most experienced professionals in the industry. That's business technology managed. Visit gflesh.com to learn more.
I've been to my fair share of green and gold games, and the best way to get there is with Accutrans Group. At Good Karma Brands and ESPN Milwaukee, we use Accutrans Group to get our partners to and from Green Bay, and it's always first class. From stadiums to concerts and tailgates, your game day fun starts the moment you step on board. Sit back, relax, and let their professional chauffeurs handle the traffic while you enjoy the ride. Accutrans Group is Milwaukee's premier ground transportation, available 24/7 with sedans, SUVs, limos, vans, and buses. Book today at Accutransgroup.com.
Can you feel it? It's the thrill of witnessing a walk-off grand slam, a game-winning touchdown, a buzzer-beating 3. Yeah, you know the feeling. And there's only one place to experience that raw exhilaration. Potawatomi Sportsbook. Catch all the action in a supreme space with dozens of sports betting kiosks, cool drinks, luxe seating, great food, fiery atmosphere, and a monster video wall. Become a legend at Potawatomi Sportsbook. More info online. Must be 21 to enter casino.
Pro Volleyball is back in Madison. The 2026 Love Madison schedule is here. Setter of the Year Lauren Carlini and hometown favorite Claire Chausset return to the court, ready to lead a powerhouse lineup of world-class talent. Get ready for non-stop action. Every serve, every volley, and every win, right here in Madison. Don't miss your chance to be a part of the unforgettable moments all season long. Visit lovb.com to check out the full schedule and secure your seats today. Volleyball is the next major league.
Hi, this is Dave Kane. You're listening to Madison's Home of the Bucks, a Good Karma brand radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX, Monona, Madison.
You're listening to Green Bay Game Night on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
Green Bay Game Night continues. ESPN Wisconsin 620 WTMJ. I'm Alex Strofe hanging out with you from downtown Milwaukee following the Packers' loss in Week 18. But again, it doesn't really matter. They're locked into the 7th seed. They're a playoff team. They didn't play anybody today. Nothing matters from today. You're not going to look at today's game and go, wow, I learned a lot about the Packers and their long-term future today, other than maybe they have a really good punter. That might be the only thing that you take away from this. The other thing you might take away from this is we all deserve like a stimulus check for having to watch that game because that was a putrid display of football by both sides. You got Max Brosmer for most of the second half for Minnesota. Clayton Tune, yeah. But again, it's a backup offensive. All of it was bad. It doesn't matter because the Packers are in the postseason, and that's what matters. What matters is what comes next week, whether that be Chicago or Philadelphia. If the results as of right now hold, Eagles have a 7-0 lead over the Commanders. The Lions have a 6-0 lead over the Bears. That would put the Packers back in Philly for the second straight year in Wild Card Weekend. That's what matters. What matters is Jordan Love is healthy. That matters. And this is still what we believe to be a high-powered offense in a decent enough defense. Obviously, no Micah Parsons, no Devontae Wyatt hurts, but you allowed Quay Walker and Edwin Cooper to rest today. You allowed Xavier McKinney to rest today. Most of those top corners, which I don't know who the top corners are right now, frankly, most of them got to rest today. So all things considered, you should feel pretty good about next week, despite 4 losses in a row, despite not winning a game in over a month. I'm not super concerned about those things. I still think this is a team that can win some road games. I still think this is a team that can make the NFC Championship game. I don't think they can win the Super Bowl. I think the moment Tucker Kraft tore his ACL, that took a huge hit. And then when Micah Parsons tore his ACL, it took a bigger hit. You lost 2 of your 3 best players. 2 of your 3 most important players went down with torn ACLs this season. Hard to win a Super Bowl that way. But this is still a good enough team overall that I think they can go on the road and win 2 games the next couple of weeks. But Jordan Love needs to play really good football. However, I think if we've learned anything about Jordan Love in 2025, he's more consistent, and he has elevated his game. So I do have some confidence entering the postseason despite 4 straight losses. Let's get to some of your phone calls. 844-770-3776, 844-770-ESPN is your way into Green Bay game night. Gary Ellerson will join us in about 10 minutes or so. But let's start in Fort Atkinson. Let's go to Ryan in Fort Atkinson. Ryan, you are on Green Bay game night following the Packers' Week 18 loss to the Minnesota Vikings. Ryan, go ahead.
Thanks for taking my call. Matt LaFleur is the reason why the Packers are not going to make it past next week. He's too predictable. He's been that way for the last 3 or 4 years. Policy needs to do something, fire both Goody and LaFleur. LaFleur has been figured out for the past 3 years. They're not going to make it past next week, and I'll be on to the Brewer season after next week.
Yeah, okay. I mean, look, Ryan, I don't think you're the only person with that opinion on Matt LaFleur. I don't. I don't agree, but then again, I've probably defended Matt LaFleur more than the average bird. I still think he's a really good head coach, and I think he's done good things this season. Now, there are games the Packers lost this year because of Matt LaFleur. Flat out. I won't disagree with that. Maybe not games. I would say there's at least 1, if not 2, that they lost. Or tied. I guess that Dallas game, he deserves a brunt of the blame, too, where they tied earlier in the week. But I think Ed Policy made it pretty clear in his monthly column over at Packers.com that he was impressed with this season. The Packers played through injuries. They finished now 4-2 in division play after going 1-5 a year ago. That's an improvement. Now, these are not my words. These are Ed Policy's. Him writing an article and saying he's impressed leads me to believe that both Matt LaFleur and Brian Gutekunst will be back in 2026. That's where I'm at right now. Now, could it be, hey, I'm just going to add another year to your contract that we can revisit all over again next year? Maybe. I don't know what the future holds. But to me, it seems Matt LaFleur will remain the head coach of this team. I just do. I mean, they're a playoff team. They've made the playoffs in 6 of 7 of his years at the helm. The only year they didn't was the final year of Aaron Rodgers. And they've been in competition. Now, again, I get being sick of a 7 seed, right? It's the 3rd straight year the Packers are the 7th seed in the NFC. That's irritating. I get why fans are upset and pissed off about that because, well, frankly, that's not really living up to the Titletown moniker that Green Bay has. It's just not. But you look around the NFC, you can look around the NFL, frankly. the Packers have consistently made the playoffs. They haven't won the division the last 3 years, but they've been a playoff team each of the last 3 years. We're watching Detroit right now play Chicago. It was a 15-win team a year ago. They're the number one seed in the NFC last year. They're not in the playoffs this year. The team the Packers lost to today was a 14-win team last year. They're not in the playoffs this year. Kansas City, I mean, yeah, they've got a couple of Super Bowl titles, but they're not in the playoffs this year after making the Super Bowl a year ago. Washington was in the NFC Championship game last year. They're looking to win their 5th game today. They're looking to, at best, finish the season 5-12. So, while sure, yes, I understand the frustration, and you use the word predictable when it comes to Matt LaFleur's play calling, sure are there some knocks. Could he evolve? Could he change his style a little bit? Is he too aggressive at times? Is he too conservative at times? I think the answer is yes to all of that. But does that mean he's not a good head coach? No, I don't think it does. I think he's a darn good head coach. Now, he hasn't been able to get over the hump, and that's the frustrating part for fans. And I hear you on that. But I think, especially given what we read from Ed Policy on Packers.com this weekend, it sounds to me like Matt LaFleur will be back, and that's just something we're going to have to live with. Thanks for the call, Ryan. Let's go to Mark in Monroe on the Bears. Mark in Monroe, you were on Green Bay game night. A comment on the Chicago Bears. I wonder where this is headed. Mark, go ahead.
Well, your screener told me to keep it clean, and there's no problem on my end of that, because I'm being totally honest. As a Bear fan, my worst fear is the same old Bears will once again rear their ugly heads at the most inopportune time. Their defense is too vulnerable. On the other hand, I think last year's Bear win deflated the Packers' playoff run from a psychological standpoint, and they ended up being one and done. So 4 losses by the Packers doesn't bother me. It's the psychological aspect on the Bears' end that does bother me. So that's my perspective on the whole scenario.
So, hold on. So I appreciate the Bears fan perspective because, I mean, as of right now, if these results hold, it will be Packers and Eagles, but there's still a lot of time left in both of these games. So it very well could end up being what I think we all hope is a Packers-Bears Chapter 3 here in the 2025 season. I'm curious from your perspective, though, Mark. Tauscher called it house money for the Bears. Are you just enjoying the success, or what are your expectations now as the Bears gear up for a playoff run as the NFC North champions this year? Because I imagine before the season this isn't what you expected, but now you've arrived, now you're here, now you're getting a home playoff game regardless of results today. What are your expectations for Chicago moving forward?
Well, I'm going to go full circle again with you. Like I said, I think they exceeded their expectations by far. They had a lot of end-of-game spectacular wins, and I'm all for it. I mean, the Oakland Raiders way back in the day pulled off a whole season of miraculous wins. But I'm kind of coming back to a reality check. And again, call it negativism or whatever, but I do fear the fact, like I said, will the same old Bears syndrome reappear at the most inopportune time now that they're going into the playoffs? So that's where I'm coming from.
I hear you, Mark, and I appreciate the call here on Green Bay Game Night and getting your perspective on that because, look, I could call it negativity. I could call it that, right? You said I could call it that. I might call it that. But it's also reality to a point, right? Like, every time the Bears have built you up the last, 2 decades just about, other than the Super Bowl, what was that, 2005, 2006, whichever season that was? Other than that, they've kind of fallen short of expectations each time they've been in this spot. So appreciate Mark and Monroe calling into Green Bay Game Night and giving his perspective on his favorite team, which is not the Packers, but it could be the Packers' opponent coming up next week. Hey, Potawatomi Sportsbook in Milwaukee has dozens of self-service kiosks and over 2,000 square foot video wall, seating for over 200, a full restaurant and bar, which that restaurant at Potawatomi Sportsbook is outstanding. The Kitchen, it's called. And if you've never been, you got to go. They've got all sorts of food, like the correct football eats you need. And I'm telling you what, next weekend would be a good weekend to go check out the Potawatomi Sportsbook, whether that's on Saturday or Sunday. They've got a VIP deck and a whole lot more. It's a sports betting paradise, and that's not an overstatement. It's compared to Vegas sportsbooks for a reason, because it's that good, if not better, than Vegas sportsbook. If you haven't been, you got to check it out at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Bet above the rest at Potawatomi Casino and Hotel. Gary Ellerson, the former Packer and Badger, is going to join us coming up next. He's always got a unique perspective. And, again, I don't know how much we need to unpack what we watched today. I do stand by what I said. I think we all deserve a stipend of some sort for watching all 4 quarters of that bleep show. That was a tough watch today. It really was. I mean, the Packers made 23 roster moves this week. 23! That's going to be a record of some sort. That's half the roster. Unbelievable. I didn't know several players that checked into the game today. And maybe I'm not doing my job well enough, but, man, that's a lot of roster moves. All right, Gary Ellerson is next. It's Green Bay Game Night, ESPN Wisconsin at 620, WTMJ.
We're back with Green Bay Game Night after this on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
This December and January, Metro Kia Madison is celebrating the season with 2 incredible year-end offers. Right now, get the 2025 Kia EV6 with 0% APR for 72 months, $13.89 per thousand finance. Or choose the 2025 Kia Telluride, now at 0.9% APR for 60 months, only $17.09 per thousand finance. Hurry in, because these offers end January 16th. Find your new Kia today at MetroKiaMadison.com. Metro Kia Madison, movement that inspires.
Hey, it's Bobby Stricker. And I'm Izzy Stricker. Golf is a pretty big deal for us, and we want to see it grow. That's why we've teamed up with Good Lion Golf right here in Madison. It's golf apparel made for the course, but perfect for everyday life. From hoodies and jackets to beanies and caps, it's a break from the same old clothes found in the pro shop.
Good Lion is designed right here in Madison and is built on community, creativity, and connection.
Check out goodliongolf.com and join the humble pride today.
Use code ESPN20 for 20% off your order. That's goodliongolf.com.
Game day in Wisconsin calls for a big play. The Big Dinner Box from Pizza Hut. 2 medium one-topping pizzas, 8 boneless wings, and 5 breadsticks, all for just $19.99. That's enough for you to feed your whole lineup and the fans before kickoff. Hand-tossed, pan, thin and crispy, even tavern style. Pizza Hut has something for every seat in the stadium. Order now for delivery or carryout at pizzahut.com or on the app. Fuel your game day with the Big Dinner Box. Pizza Hut. Feed good times.
From the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after. An in-depth recap of every Bucs game. In 6 minutes. No more, no less. Bucs in 6 on the Bucs Plus audio network. If you missed any of the game or just want to relive the biggest moments, Bucs in 6 provides game recaps every morning after. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis or the deep threes from Miles Turner. And catch the comments post-game about what happened on the court. Bucs in 6 on the Bucs Plus audio network. Find it now on Bucs.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, it's Jim Rutledge, and if you're like me, you want to look good, feel good, and still enjoy life. That's why I go to Carbon World Health. Whether it's recovery after a long week, boosting energy, or getting your fitness dialed in, Dr. Nestor Rodriguez and his team have you covered. And now, they've got a new med spa in Sun Prairie that has everything you need to look as good as you feel. Carbon World Health isn't just a gym, it's a total wellness experience. Visit carbonworldhealth.com to learn more.
From color-changing alexandrite to shimmering zircon and everything in between at Chalmers Jewelers, you'll find high-quality, affordable, one-of-a-kind pieces. We source straight from the gem cutters, and we manufacture in-house from start to finish. As the manufacturer, we believe in truth in pricing. Never pay more for quality and stunning, beautiful jewelry. She's one of a kind, and so should her jewelry be. While others may send your jewelry dreams to someone else to make, with us, your dreams become reality with the help of our custom jewelers, with you involved the whole way. With a staff that has over 200 years of combined experience, why buy from a place that marks up jewelry made by the thousands? When you can buy direct from Chalmers for that one-of-a-kind piece that is better quality, often for less.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
And Madison.
Ben Brust here to tell you about the Princeton Club. If you're looking for a place where you can better yourself while having a wonderful atmosphere, you have it at the Princeton Club. Strong communities, strong body, and strong mind. All it takes is one small step to start today. You will see that you have everything you need in order to achieve all of your goals. Find your better tomorrow at the Princeton Club. 8 Madison locations where you go in there, you take a tour, and you realize this is a place for me. Find more at PrincetonClub.net.
You're listening to Green Bay Game Night on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
Green Bay Game Night, ESPN Wisconsin, 620 WTMJ continues with you on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee, at ESPN Madison. If you want to watch the show, and, of course, streaming live, the customizable, all-new ESPN Wisconsin app. Joining me now, I'm Alex Strofe for Homer tonight. Joining me now is the former Packer, the former Badger, and the media mogul, the host of Potawatomi Football Mondays on ESPN Milwaukee. It's our buddy Gary Ellerson joining us now. Gary, I just want to give you the floor because I'm not even really sure what I watched today. It's just all eyes for me ahead to the wild card and next week. But your opening soliloquy following the Packers' regular season ending loss to the Minnesota Vikings, Gary Ellerson.
Well, shout out to Owen Demphel real quick, okay? He's got a lot of enthusiasm. I like that kid.
He does.
Yeah. So I'm opening it up with that.
That's your soliloquy? A shout out to our producer today, Owen Demphel?
Yeah. Is that okay?
That's fine by me. That's fine by me. He does have a lot of enthusiasm. You're right about that.
Yeah, I like
appreciate him stepping in.
Where's he from?
I don't. Owen, where are you from originally? I know you work in Madison. You work for the ESPN Madison.
You don't even know where he's from?
I don't. I know he's Madison. I want to say Barneveld. Am I right on that, Owen?
Yes, it is Barneveld.
I'm so good. Gary, you want to question me ever again?
What's the claim to fame for Barneveld?
I would say a very good high school girls basketball program. 7 state championships.
Oh, wow.
I don't know.
Claim to fame.
Last time I heard about Barneveld, wasn't there a tornado?
Yep, back in 1984, June 8th, 1984.
Why do you know the date? You weren't alive.
My parents are from the town as well, so my dad was 8 years old when the tornado went through.
12:41 a.m. Central on June 8th, 1984, a powerful tornado tore through Barneveld. It was part of a large outbreak of storms that started the evening before with tornadoes, also touching down in Kansas, Missouri, Iowa, and Minnesota. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was
geez.
sitting in my dorm room when that happened in 1984 at Madison.
Wow. Okay. This is not where I expected the opening soliloquy to lead us, but here we are nonetheless breaking down the history.
You never know where I'm going to go. But since, we playing all backup players, where do you go with this? I mean, it was a whole
to next week. That's where we go.
It was a whole kind of a game. Like if I had to pick a player of the game, it will probably be like Daniel Whelan. I mean, that's what
it was. That's who Tausch picked. That's who Tausch picked. He was dude. They've got a punter, by the way. Daniel Whelan's a punter.
Yeah, right. He's a punter. So that's where we're going with all this. So I mean, let's just do this. Let's unpack a little bit this at a time. I don't like the fact that they're on a 4-game losing streak heading into the playoffs. That doesn't sit well to me. But listen, I don't have to play the game. If Matt LaFleur has the attention of his players in that locker room, and if they believe in him, if they believe in the process, and the process is for me to rest all my players, whether it's going to be in Soldier Field or in Philadelphia, then that's what I believe in.
Okay. A couple of things on that. It is a 4-game losing streak in terms of the win-loss column. That's true. But don't you almost view today as a palate cleanser of sorts? The goal was not to win the game today. The Packers did not go into Minnesota going, we're gonna whip their butts, right? That was never the goal today. The goal was to get out of there with a clean bill of health. And they did that. All of their stars, all the guys that are going to be making significant impacts next week didn't touch the field. So don't you view today almost rather than a loss as kind of a palate cleanser before the new season begins where everybody's record is 0-0?
And for those who don't know, palate cleanser would be like the ginger before you have the sushi.
That's correct, yeah. Now that is a man of good taste, Gary Ellerson. A man of good taste. Ginger. Eat the ginger when you eat sushi? Do you eat the ginger?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you got to have
I do too.
It's a palate cleanser. Yeah, it's a palate cleanser.
Yeah.
So,
okay. You and I are on the same page.
I'm just trying to be relatable. But you have to believe in that, Strophy. You have to believe if that's what he's selling, hey, guys, we're sitting all these guys out. We're having the palate cleanser. We don't care if we win or lose. We just don't want to get anybody hurt. We want to be close to 100% as possible going into our first round of playoff game on the road somewhere. I don't have to buy into that. They do.
They do. And I mean, that's the way I view today. Now, I agree with you. When you look at the schedule and you see 4 losses to end the regular season, you go, oh, boy. That means they're just stumbling their way into the postseason. But that's not what today felt like. They're going to get Jordan Love back. Their line's going to be healthy, right? Zach Tom didn't play a snap today. He needs to get healthy. Josh Jacobs was inactive today. He didn't need, he can get healthy. Most of the defensive players that actually start didn't play. McKinney was out. Walker was out. Cooper was out. Gary didn't touch the field. Van Ness didn't touch the field. I don't think Enigbare touched the field. You saw a little bit of Evan Williams, but not much of Evan Williams. You saw a little bit of Keyshawn Nixon, but not much of Keyshawn Nixon. Like, you feel good about that. It's effectively I called it a glorified exhibition game. That's what it felt like. It was worse than a preseason game today. So it didn't matter. Now, to go back to the other thing you said, where they go next week. Well, right now we don't know. 1:16 left in the first half. Lions up big on the Bears. It's 13-0 at Soldier Field. If the Bears lose and the Eagles beat the Commanders, the Packers will go to Philadelphia next week. And the Bears are down 13-0 right now with just over 60 seconds to go in the first half. And then Commanders-Eagles is at the 2-minute warning. That game is tied at 7. Both teams have 7 points in that game, but starters are sitting for Philadelphia. So we'll keep an eye. If both of those teams lose, Philly and Chicago both lose, it will be Bears-Packers at Soldier Field next week. Where would you rather go, Gary? Chicago or Philadelphia?
Call Austin Della and get him on the phone right now and let him tell us who he'd rather
have. That's the inside joke of all inside jokes. Austin Della works for our company in sales. He is a Bears fan. So that is the point you're making. Is he's a Bears fan, so he doesn't really. But he either gets the Packers or the Rams, probably.
Austin Della do not want to see the Green Bay Packers at Soldier Field. I don't even know if the Bears want to see the Green Bay Packers at Soldier Field. They may just throw this game. The Bears may just play the worst game of the year right now because they know what's coming to Lambeau Field. What's coming to Soldier Field if Green Bay got to play them. They know.
Yeah, their defense is bad, Gary. They do not have a good defense, and obviously we saw that on Sunday night.
But what have they done the whole year? Is they created turnovers. They lead the league in turnovers. They're just good at it.
Yeah. Well, even on onside kicks, which is what we saw, right? Even on onside kicks. So. I'm with you. I think the Packers. I mean, like I said, I said this earlier to Tauscher. There's some early lines out, and even though this game isn't confirmed yet, the Packers are a 1.5 favorite at Chicago next week. They'd be favored.
Oh, they better be.
Yeah, and they will be.
Yeah, they better be.
They will be.
Oh yeah.
With a healthy Jordan Love and obviously still a bad taste in their mouths from just a couple of weeks ago, the last time they were in Chicago, they should be favored. So I agree. That's where I'd rather see them go. All right, we will continue with Gary Ellerson, continue to preview next week more so than break down today's loss. Because today's loss, I think that's what we're going to dub it, Gary. We're going to dub it the palate cleanser. You okay with that?
Palate
Do
cleanser.
I have your approval?
I like that. What? So when you say palate cleanser, you mean by we're just washing away all that is bad?
Yeah. I think that was probably the message today, right? I mean, all those guys are sitting out. And
clean slate, so
it's a clean slate. It's a new season.
And
You've known
we're
for 2
going
weeks
into
you're
the
going to be the
playoffs.
7th seed.
0-0 in the playoffs. Whoever we play, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. And it's funny you say that because as we said the words clean slate, the Green Bay Packers just tweeted, it's a clean slate now. So they must be listening to the wise words of our buddy Gary Ellerson, who's with us here on Green Bay Game Night. The phone lines are still open for you, but it's a different number than normal. 844-770-3776. That's where you can reach the pride of Barneveld, Owen Dimple, our producer today on Green Bay Game Night. 844-770-3776. Gary Ellerson, Alex Strofe with you on Green Bay Game Night. We continue right after this.
More Green Bay Game Night coming up on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right and naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about anything, from the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys. Tito's is known for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Inc., Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
Experience hot gaming action and a relaxing spa day. Your perfect winter getaway at the island. Book a stay and float package to get both a standard room and a rejuvenating 60-minute float pod therapy session for less than $100. Complement your stay with an elevated dining experience at Horizon Steakhouse, followed by an evening of comedy in Club 41. The Island Resort and Casino's stay and float package runs through February. Call 800-682-6040 to book yours today. Certain days and restrictions apply.
It's December, which means it's truck weather, and nobody helps you gear up like Metro Ford of Madison. Right now, get a 2025 Ford F-150 with 0% APR for 60 or 66 months, with $0 down and no payments for 90 days. The 2025 F-150 2.7L STX is here with 0% APR plus $1,250 retail bonus cash, $1,000 open bonus cash, and $1,000 MBC. But hurry, offers end January 5th. It's truck weather, so make it count today at MetroFordofMadison.com.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. It's not just a slogan, but the way of life at Gruber Law Offices. If you've been injured, call our team today. We've represented tens of thousands of injured Wisconsinites for more than 30 years. Trust Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices, proud partner of your Milwaukee Bucks. One call, that's all.
It's all about the green and gold and nonsense on Kyle, Brust, and Nordman.
The Green Bay Packers will get to their final goal, winning the NFC North, maybe even a Super Bowl run, is to continue this identity of letting it rip. If you get too conservative, you're going to falter like they did earlier in the season. Let it rip, Matt LaFleur.
Do you firmly believe that's the foundation?
I do believe it is now.
Presented by Bud Light, the official beer of the NFL. Weekdays from 2 till 4 on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Want to move better, play faster, and compete at a higher level? Train where Wisconsin's top athletes go. Total Athlete Performance. From middle school phenoms to the pros, TAP is Madison's #1 destination for speed, power, and athleticism. Their proven systems, expert coaches, and cutting-edge equipment help you dominate your sport. Can't make it in? Train anywhere with the TAP mobile app. Spots are filling fast, so don't wait. Visit tapwisconsin.com to schedule your free athletic assessment today.
Pro volleyball is back in Madison. The 2026 Love Madison schedule is here. Setter of the Year Lauren Carlini and hometown favorite Claire Chausset return to the court, ready to lead a powerhouse lineup of world-class talent. Get ready for non-stop action. Every serve, every volley, and every win, right here in Madison. Don't miss your chance to be a part of the unforgettable moments all season long. Visit lovb.com to check out the full schedule and secure your seats today. Volleyball is the next major league.
Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side. When you see Diamond Jim, you can count on him to be on your side. Selection beyond compare with on-site repair, so you can wear your jewelry with pride. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
You're listening to Green Bay Game Night on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Green Bay Game Night. ESPN Wisconsin, 620 WTMJ. I'm Alex Strofe in for Homer tonight alongside the former Packer and Badger media mogul, our buddy Gary Ellerson, hanging out with us as he does each and every week following the Packers' regular season finale, a 13-6 loss, really ugly one, to the Minnesota Vikings. Gary, when you look at the road ahead, and it's either going to be Chicago or Philadelphia, we likely won't know until after we go off the air tonight, where the Packers will be heading next week, Wild Card Weekend. When you look ahead, do you circle a position group or a player and go, hey, if you're not on your A game, this is going to be a one-and-done year for the Packers? Is there a certain person or position group that you look at and say, you got to step up if this team's going to make a run?
I don't have a group, but I have the defense as a whole.
Yeah.
Defense got to show up. I mean, you can start listing names if you want, but it's the defense as a whole, they have to show up. I mean, that could be Xavier McKinney. That dude done dropped like 3-4 interceptions this year in his hand. That could be at the inside linebacker, because that could be Quay Walker. That could be Cooper. They got to show up. That could be the defensive line. Most certainly, Rashawn Gary has been the punching bag for everybody. But yeah, him too. But for the defense, it could be Lucas Van Ness. What the hell has he done? He's a first-round draft pick. He ain't done a damn thing. So I mean, it could be names. But for me, because you lost Michael Parsons, it's not really about the names. It's really about the defense as a whole. All those guys I just mentioned have to play up to a certain standard along with everybody else when you're missing a guy like Michael Parsons. So it's not really just one guy. But if you want me to give you some names, there are names, but the defense as a group has to play better.
Yeah, Micah Parsons went down in that game at the Broncos. I'm not going to count today's game because today's game it was a preseason game. It didn't mean anything. But 3 games, right? I'm going to count the Broncos game, at the Bears the following week, and then hosting the Ravens in the loss last week. Those are the 3 losses you've had since Micah Parsons tore his ACL in the Broncos game. In those 3 games, Gary, the defense allowed 32.3 points per game. 32.3. Yeah. You're not going to win a lot of ball games if you're allowing that many points.
No,
you're just not. As good as I think you and I. But as good as you and I both think this Packers offense can be, led by Jordan Love, 32.3 points a game is not going to cut it, especially in the postseason.
No,
correct?
No, because that means your offense has to score on every possession, and then in some games that you get, and if you're going to go play, let's say at Philly, you're going to play at Chicago, that means your possessions will be limited. So you will probably only get 8 possessions in a game against Philly, which means you'll get 2 possessions per quarter. That's not a lot. So that means you either got to get points on every time you touch the ball. That's asking a lot of an offense.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. Gary Ellerson, Alex Strofe with you on Green Bay Game Night, 844-770-3776. That is the Carbless Talk and text line your way in to Green Bay Game Night as we continue to look ahead to next week. Just looking over, peeking. The Lions just missed a field goal, so their lead stays at 13-0 as that game goes to halftime, and the Commanders just made a field goal as that game goes to halftime. So Washington leads Philly, Detroit leads Chicago at halftime of both of those games. So if these results were to stay the same, if Washington is to hang on over Philly and Detroit is to hang on over Chicago, both of those teams would lose and the Packers would go to Chicago next week, which is the matchup I think everybody and their grandmama wants to see next week. It's Packers at Bears, because I just think, all things considered, that's a matchup I feel better about. I think the Packers are likely the better team.
You know what I like to do? You have a show every day, and I don't have one, but I would love to hear whether the Bear fans really want the Packers at Soldier Field. I don't think they do.
I don't think they do. We had a Bears fan call in right before you joined us, Gary, and he said the Bears will Bears if the Packers go to Chicago next week. Now, I won't say his opinion is the same as every Bears fan, but I think most of them feel that way.
Yeah, I don't think they do. I don't think they want it. I think they want anybody but us.
I agree. But again, the NFC as a whole confuses me a little bit, because other than, say, Carolina, who got their ticket punched today thanks to Atlanta beating New Orleans, Carolina I don't think is very good. But I think the other 6 teams, the Packers, Rams, Niners, Eagles, Bears, Seahawks, you could make a case for all 6 of those teams. I wouldn't make one for Chicago. I think it's harder to make one for Green Bay without Micah Parsons. But I think you can make the case still for both of those teams. And then the other 4, I think the cases are obvious, right? Seattle's 14-3. They're really good. They're really good all around. If Sam Darnold can be good, I think they've got a good shot to make it.
I did not think.
I didn't think he was good yesterday.
I thought it was the Rams. I'm just saying the best team in the NFC I thought were the Rams over the last 3-4 weeks, and then now I've changed my mind. After I watched the Seahawks, it's the Seahawks. I mean, their defense is way better than what you think that it is.
Really good.
Way
really good.
better. I mean, is it Charbonnet? That's his name, Charbonnet? That dude's
Zach
for real.
Charbonnet.
I mean, yeah, he's for real. And if Sam Darnold, if they can run the football and pass when they want to, they're a hard team to beat. The Rams, I still feel like they have some holes.
They're good.
In their
They've
game.
got the pieces, though.
Right. They're good. The 49ers, they lost too much defense. They can't stop nobody. They can't stop a nosebleed. So you can score on them. And then you start getting into Philadelphia. Philadelphia scares me right now only because I feel like they're playing much better football than they did like in the middle of the season. There was a lot of junks around them, and right now they feel like they hit their stride. So right now, to me, it's really Seattle and Philly, I think, are the top 2 teams in the NFC in that order.
And there's a chance, Gary. Those could be, if you were to win at Philly, you would go to Seattle, the divisional round. I mean, those could be your first 2 opponents in the postseason, very realistically, if Philadelphia is able to come back and beat Washington.
Right, 100%. And not a good place to go play. Either one of those teams. So not a good place to go play.
You do not feel good about the Packers making a run in the postseason.
Not against Philly, and I think they got a shot against Seattle because I think Sam Darnold, he's on my list.
Okay.
And you gonna ask him what my list is?
No, tell me your list. I thought you were just going to tell it to me.
Well, I have a group of
You're very needy, Gary. You need me to ask you about your list?
Yeah. There's a group of quarterbacks that's on my list that is guaranteed to give you 3 picks in a game. You just got to get them. Sam Darnold is on that list.
Yeah.
You got to force him to throw the ball, though, so it means you got to shut down the run game. You got to shut down the run game. He'll give you some shots.
Yeah. Who else is on that list?
Matthew Stafford's on that list.
Yeah, okay.
Jared Goff is on that list.
Interesting.
Yeah. Jared Goff, get him off his spot. Make him move. Make him move. But if you let Jared Goff just sit in the pocket and not move, he'll eat you up. But you got to get him off his spot.
Yeah. Both of those guys have been pretty efficient this year, though. Stafford, only 8 picks on the year, has played every game except today. Well, I guess he has played today, but it's just the stats aren't done yet. 16 games played. 16 games played for Goff. He's only thrown 7. Love is one behind those guys. Love's thrown 6 this year.
Yeah.
So I do agree with Goff, especially in a cold climate. But they're not in the postseason,
get him
so
off
we don't
his
have
spot,
to worry about
though.
him.
You can't.
But
you
Stafford
can't,
and Stafford and Darnold, you could see. You could see. You could certainly see Darnold. You win next week, you're going to see Darnold. They're the 1 seed or the 7 seed. So Packers win next week, they're going to Seattle.
Yeah, crazy, unbelievable. You think the Vikings are just kicking themselves in the tail right now about not re-signing Darnold?
Oh yeah, I would guess so. Quarterback play is what prevented them from making the postseason. They could have kept Green Bay out.
Sure was. Yep.
I mean,
100%.
it's not like the Packers' record was. It's not like the Packers' record was stupendous this season. They went 9-7-1.
Right. Right. They win
with
10
that
games,
record. You're lucky to get in.
Yeah.
No, don't get me wrong. I certainly think the Packers are one of the best 5 teams or 6 teams in the NFC without a doubt. Despite being the 7 seed, but we know how that crap goes with the ordering of the rankings, right? Carolina is 8 and 9, and they're the 4 seed.
Right.
But I certainly think the Packers are one of the 5-6 best teams in the NFC. But the record does not scream contender. It's worse than it was when they won the Super Bowl in 2010. They were 10-6 that year.
Right. screams it.
So I'm intrigued to see what version of the Packers we get next week. That's the biggest mystery question mark right now.
Hey,
because
nobody
you're shorthanded.
knows.
No, you're shorthanded, but obviously without Kraft, and Micah. But you've had some time to adjust to that, right? Jeff Hafley has now had several games under his belt without Micah Parsons. So what can he bring from a game plan perspective to make that defense look dominant? They looked really good the first 58 minutes in Chicago. They just didn't look good until they didn't look good in that game. Baltimore, I don't know what to make of that one. They did not look very good. Derrick Henry ran all over them, which then that's when you bring up a team like Chicago who's very effective running the football. That's their key to victory. If they can run over them like Derrick Henry did, and don't get me wrong, I don't think Kyle Monungai is Derrick Henry by any means, but they are a very efficient running team. The Packers can't stop a nosebleed when it comes to the run game. At least they couldn't last week. And that's what concerns me. That's what concerns me.
100%. Because nowadays it's a fourth down league, meaning that you got to play 4 downs. Everybody goes for it on fourth down now. It's not like what it used to be. And so, I mean, if you could average 3.5 or 3 yards per carry and be where you want to be on fourth down and possibly go for it and get it. And that's what's been hurting the Packers. The Packers have no defensive lineman left.
Yeah, no, they really don't. At least in the interior, and maybe
correct.
Maybe somebody can break out, but I don't have a lot of faith in anybody in that interior. Obviously, the edge is a little bit of a different story, but I don't have a whole lot of faith in. And you called him out earlier, right? Rashawn Gary, I've got no faith in.
No,
Kingsley Enagbare has been pretty solid. I know how disappointed you've been in LVN. Baron Sorrell was awesome today, but can he do that in limited opportunity, limited snaps?
But see, that's you don't know. That's a great question. That's a great question with these young guys like that. Now, if you Ben Cox, that's my cousin, right?
I don't know if I should believe you, A, but B, no, I did not know that.
Yeah, that's my cousin. Let me see if I can explain it to you. My grandmother brother is his great uncle. How about that?
All right. So hold on. Just let me write that down. Your grandmother's brother. So your great uncle. Your great uncle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is who to him?
Well, actually, his mom is a cousin to my mom. On my grandmother's side, which is my mom's side. So we're like third or fourth cousins.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
You could have explained that a whole lot better than you did the first time.
Your
moms are cousins.
Right. Yeah. I still explained it right, but it's still there. So his grandmother, his grandmother,
okay,
and my mom are first cousins.
Okay. See, now you're explaining this much differently. You said my grandma's brother is his grandpa's brother's third cousin by marriage. This is explained much better. So your mom's cousin is Brenton Cox Jr.'s grandma.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that would make you fourth cousins.
Yeah, should I call my mom?
No, I mean, if you want to, I think you should call your mom as. I think you should call your mom as much as you can.
I don't
know that that's necessary to figure out your lineage. I don't know that that's necessary. Lineage, but
I like that word, lineage.
I do too. I also like that word. I don't know if that's necessary, but you could have explained it like that the first time, and I would have been a hell of a lot less confused.
Did I get it close the second time? Did you figure it out?
Yeah. Well, I think it was the third time, but yeah. I think you're third cousins, maybe fourth. Is Brenton Cox Jr. aware of his relation to Gary Ellerson?
Yes, 100%. We've talked a couple times. Yes.
Okay, got it.
Yes,
well, tell him to bring it next week, would you?
Well, you know what? Because he's been hurt most of the year, and now they brought him back. He made a flash play today.
Yeah, he got in there a little bit today.
He caused a fumble, I believe, on a sack. I believe in there somewhere. But like I say, Enoch Barre, Brenton Cox, Rashawn Gary, Lucas Van Ness, it's going to take all those dudes to come together defensively to try to get a win.
Just so you know, if you Google it, it says Brenton Cox Jr. is not related to Gary Ellerson. I just want to let you know that.
Well, don't Google that.
We need
Google's wrong. Don't believe everything you Google.
Well, okay. I just want to let you know that Google is not aware of that information, and we should fix that.
If you hold on, I can call my mom. I get my mom on the phone. She'll tell you.
I just got a text that said, the more you try to explain it, the more it gets confusing. Please stop. Okay, I think we're going to, and we're going to take a break. Gary Ellerson, Alex Strope with you on Green Bay Game Night. Trying to do Ancestry.com on the radio. Hopefully no more of that. Next.
We're back with Green Bay Game Night after this on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Breaking news on ESPN Madison is presented by Metro Ford and Metro Kia of Madison. Find the Metro family of auto dealers online or see them in person on the east side of Madison today.
Ho Chunk Gaming Madison is giving away $85,000 in cash this month in our double rollover jackpot. There will be 5 drawings every Tuesday and Friday throughout January. 10 winners every week. But you have to be here because if the winner isn't present, their prize rolls over to the next jackpot. Every Tuesday drawing is for $1,000 and Friday drawings are for $2,000. Then on Friday, January 30th, there are 5 $5,000 prizes. Don't let time tick away. Get to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison.
Hey, it's John Hayes, owner of Goodman's Jewelers. Come in and discover the high standards, classic traditions, honesty, integrity, and elegance when you walk through our doors. For over 90 years, customers have returned again and again to our warm boutique setting. Trust me, because I've been there for over 40 of them. Whether it's time to come back or your first time in, stop by Goodman's Jewelers at 220 State Street today. Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison since 1933.
The best is at Goodman's.
Happy New Year and happy new engagement. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. You have heard me talk about corporate, fundraising, and even casino events, but we are also amazing wedding DJs. Never cheesy and always the perfect fit for the perfect couple. Please let us help you narrate your wedding day love story while playing an amazing soundtrack that will rock your dance floor. Create lifelong memories of your one special day. Do it right and do it with celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Hold your friends close and your rivals closer on Jim, Matt, and Molly.
Matt, when we were out at the Packer game, your friend even admitted that he checks out mentally when you start to tell him
he did
recipes. Yes. I don't even bring up food around you anymore because it's too much.
And Thomas is a terrible cook, so he can't follow the recipes anyway.
Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light. Weekdays 4 to 6 on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
Hey, it's Jim Rutledge, and if you're like me, you want to look good, feel good, and still enjoy life. That's why I go to Carbon World Health. Whether it's recovery after a long week, boosting energy, or getting your fitness dialed in, Dr. Nestor Rodriguez and his team have you covered. And now, they've got a new med spa in Sun Prairie that has everything you need to look as good as you feel. Carbon World Health isn't just a gym, it's a total wellness experience. Visit carbonworldhealth.com to learn more.
Come see what the buzz is all about at Madison Axe, Madison's state-of-the-art entertainment spot. Enjoy 8 lanes of axe throwing, interactive games, plus digital target projection and scoring. For even more fun, check out their indoor backyard with 2,000 square feet of shuffleboard, cornhole, yard games, bar table games, and more. Perfect for date night, groups, corporate meetings, or private events. Madison Axe is your destination for all things fun. Throw it, nail it, celebrate. Go to MadisonAxe.com or head to their location on Stoughton Road today.
Ben Brust here to tell you about the Princeton Club. If you're looking for a place where you can better yourself while having a wonderful atmosphere, you have it at the Princeton Club. Strong communities, strong body, and strong mind. All it takes is one small step to start today. You will see that you have everything you need in order to achieve all of your goals. Find your better tomorrow at the Princeton Club. 8 Madison locations where you go in there, you take a tour, and you realize this is a place for me. Find more at PrincetonClub.net.
All day, every day. The Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more. You're listening to Green Bay Game Night on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
You know, after a glorified exhibition game, you never know what you'll stumble into on Green Bay Game Night. Seinfeld references with Tauscher, discussing live plays and musicals with Tauscher, and discussing your family's ancestors. Not necessarily ancestors. Lineage, I think is the word we landed on with Gary Ellerson.
Lineage.
Yeah.
Yes.
You never know what you'll stumble into. Gary Ellerson, Alex Stroh with you. It's Green Bay Game Night here on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ. The regular season is over for the Packers. They finished 9-7-1, 4-4-1 in their 9 road games. So an even 500 on the road, including several losses to end the season. 3 of their last 4 games on the road. They lose all 4 of those games, including the 3 road games at Denver, at Chicago, and at Minnesota. You don't sound very discouraged, though, Gary. You sound like you're still optimistic for what's to come next week for Green Bay.
Yeah, because I think, you know, Jordan Love, dare I say that he can get hot, right? And he has a propensity to put a team on his back. But you got to get some stops. He can't really do it by himself. But defensively is what you're afraid of. Can they get stops? They got to get stops. If they can't get any stops, it's going to be tough for them to try to go get a win no matter what they're going to play. I think the matchup is better. I think the matchup is better if they can play the Bears. Go ahead.
I agree with that wild card weekend. That I fully agree with. Outside of Seattle, do any of the defenses in the NFC playoff field really scare you?
No.
I tend to agree.
No, they don't.
I tend to agree.
Don't.
Because
they don't. Used to be Philly, but not anymore.
Their defense is still pretty good. Their offense isn't.
Right.
So I don't know if I'd use the word scare, because I feel confident with Jordan Love leading the charge and a couple weeks of rest. As long as he's not rusty next week and he comes out guns a-blazing, I think they got a good chance to win no matter who they play next week. Philly has a better defense than Chicago. I would probably go Seattle and Philly are the 2 best defenses remaining in the NFC of the 7 teams there.
Agreed.
We watched San Francisco and Chicago go blow for blow on Sunday night last week, 38-35, the final on that one. So I don't know who really scares me defensively in the NFC playoff field outside of maybe Seattle, maybe Philadelphia. But if Matt LaFleur could draw up a good game plan and Jordan Love can be on his B to A game, I think they got a shot against anybody, which even with a 4-game losing streak, even with a 7 seed, even with a 9-7-1 final record. The NFL has been so wide open all year, I still feel okay about the Packers' chances, no matter where they go next week, whether it be Philly or Chicago.
I would agree with that. I think the Packers got a shot. Listen, Strophy, you just want to get in, and they're in. And then it rewrites itself, right? You get a reset. It really doesn't matter. The playoffs has been proven that no team, whether you have a number 1 seed or a number 7 seed, that you're really safe. I think the Packers proved that some years back when they went and won it. I believe was there a 6 seed when they went and won it at that particular time, that you can go on the road and win games. So it's not what it used to be.
No, I agree with you on that. All right, Gary Ellerson with us here on Green Bay Game Night. I know you have a term for your closing. I know you do the opening statement where you talked about Owen Dimple and Barneveld, Wisconsin's tornadoes back in the 1980s.
Yeah.
Is it the closing? What is it? The spiel, the sermon, the address?
Well, I mean, I don't even know what it is. Homer comes up with some stuff, and we just kind of go with it, Trophy. I've known Homer for like 30 years. You just go with it. He's a professor. I mean, you just kind of go with home team. But I will say this: I wasn't on board 100% with playing all the backups, but I get it, right? It's really about being healthy in the playoffs, because the playoffs, you get a reset. Last year, you lose Christian Watson at the end of the year, and then you lost him at the beginning of this year, which kind of set you back a little bit. So I get it. I understand it. And all that matters is that those guys in the locker room, they feel good about what the game plan is. And the game plan is, no matter who we play or where we go, we're about as healthy as we can be. And if we feel like we're as healthy as we can be, we can beat anybody, anywhere, at any time. That's what Matt LaFleur is telling his players. I think his players believe it, because they know that they've lost a lot of players due to injury. Now they just got to come out and prove it. I think they're behind the 8 ball a little bit with their defense, with Michael Parsons. I think that's more of a bigger of a loss than Tucker Kraft, because there's going to be more guys over there. He's got trying to figure out with Jeff Hafley on what they're going to do. And plus you lost Devontae White. I think that hurts you in your run game as well. But I think no matter who they play, I think the Packers can beat anybody right now in the playoffs. There's not a juggernaut team like it used to be years ago, or even it's like 2-3 years ago, because it was really all about the Eagles 2 or 3 years ago. They were far above, better than anybody else. I don't think there's that team out there right now in the NFC.
I hear you. Before I let you go, took a couple of calls, took a couple of texts, see a couple of comments about it. Where do you stand on Matt LaFleur? Should he be the head coach in 2026?
I don't even think it should be a question. I mean, I don't even know why that is a question. Packer fans are so spoiled. I mean, it's just unbelievable. They're just spoiled bunch of people. Yeah, I mean, I don't get it. The Bear fans,
I tend to agree,
would have loved to have had. Bear fans would have loved to have had a Matt LaFleur 6 years ago, and they don't. So I guess you have to figure out if he can get you to the next level. And that next level, right, is the Super Bowl. But I'm not there yet with Matt LaFleur. I think there's a lot of other things that has happened with this team that is not in his control. I think the players that he have, they've been playing as good as they can play.
I love it. I love it from Gary Ellerson, who you can hear tomorrow. Potawatomi Football Mondays, ESPN
But see,
Milwaukee
you would
from
not
6 to 8
say
p.m.
this. You would not say this tomorrow on your show. You won't believe me. You're gonna say something else tomorrow on KVN. You don't really believe me. Bruss gonna say something. You're gonna agree with Bruss.
I never agree with Bruss. I rarely, if ever, agree with Bruss, so that's incorrect. You don't listen. You clearly don't listen. Potawatomi Football Mondays, 6 to 8 p.m. tomorrow, 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, and the Homer Hour Friday from 5 until 6 on ESPN Milwaukee and ESPN Beaver Dam. Thank you, Gary.
All right, buddy. All right, bye, Owen.
Have a good night, Gary.
Bye, everybody. Yep.
What a dork. We love Gary Ellerson around here, man. What a dork. You know Brenton Cox is my distant cousin, right? No, I didn't know that, Gary. How am I supposed to know that? I don't study your family tree on Ancestry.com, Gary. Jeez Louise, he's the best. He's the best. All right, your phone calls, 844-770-3776. How you feeling going into Wild Card Weekend as we keep an eye? Lions up 13-0, Commanders up 10-7. That is still the scores of those games in the third quarter of each of those games. If these scores hold, Packers-Bears, part 3 next week, Wild Card Weekend. If the Eagles win, the Bears lose, it is Packers-Eagles. Again, well, I guess that would be part 2 of the season, but for the second straight season in Wild Card Weekend next week. And we will continue to keep you posted on those scores, but I want to hear from you. How are you feeling as a Packers fan? 4 straight losses, the 7th seed for the third year in a row, and awaiting to see who their opponent is coming up Wild Card Weekend. Want to get your thoughts on that. 844-770-ESPN, 844-770-3776. Your phone calls are next on Green Bay Game Night.
More Green Bay Game Night coming up on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Can you feel it? It's the thrill of witnessing a walk-off grand slam, a game-winning touchdown, a buzzer-beating 3. Yeah, you know the feeling. And there's only one place to experience that raw exhilaration. Potawatomi Sportsbook. Catch all the action in a supreme space with dozens of sports betting kiosks, cool drinks, luxe seating, great food, fiery atmosphere, and a monster video wall. Become a legend at Potawatomi Sportsbook. More info online. Must be 21 to enter casino.
Everyone plays like a champion at TPC Wisconsin. Our friendly community shares one thing: a passion for world-class golf. Women, men, and youth golfers all love the course. The $25 million upgrade is impeccable, and the list of amenities is more than impressive. But belonging where the shared pursuit of excellence is a daily practice and not just a tagline? That might be the best part. Join today and pay no dues until April 1st. Discover belonging. TPCWisconsin.com.
Listen to Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin on 100.5 ESPN.
That's Evan Cohen of Unsportsmanlike. You can hear him across ESPN Wisconsin.
Before you even get to the honest trade, I believe they're going to exhaust every other option of increasing the productivity of this team before they ever consider trading him, and then we'll revisit in June.
Wilde and Tausch, weekdays 9 to noon on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
Ben Brust here to tell you about why your next work van should be from Mercedes-Benz Sprinter at Zimbrick European. First off, we have versatility. The Sprinter vans offer 16 body types and thousands of ways to customize that space. Number 2, we have reliability. Sprinter's most powerful diesel engines last longer and require less maintenance, spend more time on the road and less time in those bays. Number 3, we have safety. Sprinter's safety technologies include curtain airbags all around, load adaptive electronic stability program, and crosswind and attention assist. Number 4, Van Care Mobile. Our maintenance team can come to you with routine service. Who wants to go in? Let them come to you. They work with multiple trucks on one visit. Use the Mercedes Meet Connect. And last but not least, get your Zimbrick Sprinter at Zimbrick European at Rimrock Road and the Beltline, or go online at ZimbrickEuropean.com, because your next Mercedes Sprinter van is waiting for you.
From color-changing alexandrite to shimmering zircon and everything in between at Chalmers Jewelers, you'll find high-quality, affordable, one-of-a-kind pieces. We source straight from the gem cutters, and we manufacture in-house from start to finish. As the manufacturer, we believe in truth in pricing. Never pay more for quality and stunning, beautiful jewelry. She's one of a kind, and so should her jewelry be. While others may send your jewelry dreams to someone else to make, with us, your dreams become reality with the help of our custom jewelers, with you involved the whole way. With a staff that has over 200 years of combined experience, why buy from a place that marks up jewelry made by the thousands? When you can buy direct from Chalmers for that one-of-a-kind piece that is better quality, often for less.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
And Madison.
Greg Scalzo here for Buck and Honeys. Congratulations to the perennial Best of Madison Award winner by the folks at Madison Magazine. Meet me at Buck and Honeys to celebrate Wisconsin hospitality. Whether you're enjoying the view on the Yahara River in Monona, exploring Wanakee, visiting the OG in Sun Prairie, or checking out the new location in Mount Horeb, you can enjoy the Buck and Honeys experience in a neighborhood near you. Serving lunch and dinner 7 days a week with brunch every Saturday and Sunday. I'll see you at Buck and Honeys.
This is Monte Ball.
Monte steps to the right, dashes, reaches, touchdown.
You listen to 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
You're listening to Green Bay Game Night on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
Green Bay Game Night continues. ESPN Wisconsin, 620 WTMJ. I'm Alex Strofe with you in downtown Milwaukee as the Packers wrap up their regular season. A loss in Minnesota to the Vikings. They finish in the division 4-2, which is a big-time improvement from a year ago when they were 1-5. But their record actually worse this year, 9-7-1 on the season. The Packers finished the regular season. But again, today's game didn't really count. They didn't play anybody. They were locked into the 7th seed for the third straight year. And, well, you want to get it be as healthy as possible. Today's goal was not to win. Today's goal was to be healthy, and all things considered, seems like the Packers accomplished that. We will get to our injury report following the game, presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin with Jason Wilde. Coming up, I think in about 10 or so minutes, Jason's going to join us from US Bank Stadium as we continue to look ahead to next week to see who the Packers will play. But it's like a battle of who wants it less. Who wants to play the Packers the least between the Bears and the Eagles, who are both losing their respective matchups right now? Caleb Williams just threw an interception to the Lions of Avonte Maddox in their end zone. So it's Lions ball with a 13-point lead at Soldier Field. The Bears still scoreless halfway through the third quarter. And the Eagles, well, they're getting close to the red zone and looks like they should have an opportunity to at least tie, if not take the lead against 4-12 Washington. The Commanders up 10-7 in Philly. Both of these teams playing at home today, by the way, and losing to divisional opponents. All right, let's get to some of your phone calls. On the Cardinals Talk and Text line. 844-770-3776. Different phone number today. 844-770-ESPN. 844-770-3776. Levi in Stevens Point has been holding for a while. Let's get to Levi in Stevens Point, our good friend from the city of my alma mater. Levi, you're on Green Bay Game Night.
Yo, what is up, Strophy, my man?
Hey, buddy, how are you?
I'm pretty good, but I am keeping an eye on both the Bear game and the Eagle game. Oh, man, I'm getting really nervous about I still hope the Commanders beat the Eagles because I can't stand their fan base. But anyway, I still hope that we play those Bears because I just want to see the Packers rub it on the Bears fans' face if we play them in the playoffs and beat them at Soldier Field. But you never know what's going to happen.
You're really rooting for the Commanders. You're really rooting for the Commanders then, Levi, because it looks like the Lions are not holding up. They just had another big gain to get into Bears territory. Jared Goff to Khalif Raymond for like a 25, 30-yard gain. So Eagles, it looks like the Lions are going to continue to add on to their 13-point lead, and the Eagles have reached the red zone against Washington, so they are looking to either tie or take the lead in that one. I'm with you. I'd rather beat the Bears next week. And now, again, I think the Packers are certainly capable of beating the Eagles next week, but I would rather see the Bears in Jordan Love's first game action, well, since the last time the Packers played the Bears back on December 20th. But anyway, what else is on your mind?
What else is on my mind, huh? Well, I don't know how many callers you got, though, because I know you got Jason Wilde for time management, but I just got nothing else to say. I just want you guys to just hold on a second. I'm sorry, I'm just a little bit nervous, Sophie. It's just, but just want to say you guys still do a great job. You do a great job of what you guys do, especially on Green Bay pregame and the postgame. I listened to the postgame a lot more, but I know I didn't get a chance to talk to Tauscher, which is all right because I know how busy Tauscher is and we love the guy. But I just wanted to tell you guys, keep up the great work, what you do at Good Karma Brands, and hope to talk to you soon, Strope. And let's go,
Thanks,
Pointers.
Thanks as always, Levi. Go Pointers. Go Dogs. Yeah, thanks, Levi. Levi and Stevens Point on the Cardinal Stock and Text line, 844-770-3776. Your way into Green Bay Game Night. Packers lose to the Vikings in the regular season finale. We've got some other calls. Let's do that. Let's go to Union Grove. Chris, Union Grove, you have some thoughts on Matt LaFleur, and I want to hear them. Chris, you are on Green Bay Game Night. Go ahead.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me. Appreciate first time calling into the show. I love listening to you guys. I love listening to the banter back and forth, but I got to say that I think Matt LaFleur gets a raw deal sometimes. I don't think he should be fired. I don't even think the conversation should be coming up about him being fired because he's proven he can win. He adapts. He's developed talent. If you take a look at what happened with Malik Willis, that's not a miracle. Malik Willis came from a Titans team that basically shoved him out the door. They reached out, it got him, and all of us saw when he came in the game, we probably had a lot of expectations that he was going to do not as good as Jordan Love, but maybe if it's not A+, it was going to be B+. And I think that's a tribute to the coach. I think a lot of times coaches can be an easy fall. I think you can go at the GM, you can go at Ed Policy, you can go at all these guys, right? But at the same breath, they mustered together a season where they lost probably the number one tight end in the NFL. They lost probably arguably the number one defensive player in the NFL. Christian Watson coming back, Jordan Love being hurt. It goes on and on. Devontae Wyatt. I mean, you just cannot sustain these injuries And then, honestly, sometimes I just get a little frustrated when don't blame the injuries. But at some point if you have 1, I get it. If you have 2, I get it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I think having a coach that still puts you in a place to win a game consistently, I think that's pretty good. And I'll also add, and I apologize for going on my little rant, but look who he brought in as a defensive coordinator. You know, the defensive coordinator he brought in, Jeff Hatley, is going to be an NFL coach next year. And he brought that talent in too. So I think he's in a good spot. I think he gets a raw deal sometimes. Can he get emotional sometimes? Sure. But when it comes to the X's and O's, I think he's one of the best coaches out there. And I appreciate that he is a Packers coach and that we didn't have to go through 7 coaches like the Bears did. So,
yeah, Chris, you nailed it. Chris from Union Grove on the Cardinals Talking text line. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate you calling in. Here's the thing. I agree with you. I'm usually the one making all the points you just made because I think he still gets credit for that. Especially, the Malik Willis thing, okay, maybe we look at last year and we're giving him too much credit. But the injuries excuse, I don't know that I've ever used it before. Maybe a little bit, but this year, they just got crushed by injuries. They've got 15 guys on IR. 15. It's a third of the roster. So, it's going to be a little hard to overcome it, but they've still found a way to make the playoffs. And Jordan Love has found a way to elevate his game despite not for half of the season having what looked like, you said it, the best tight end of the league, or maybe the second best tight end of the league. And then defensively, they lose the second best edge rusher in the league. I don't think we can call him the best edge rusher in the league, considering somebody broke the sack record today in Myles Garrett. Most sacks in season for him, the only good thing about the Cleveland Browns. So, I hear you. I guess I'm willing to hear both sides because we always do. We always try to. I will just present the opposite argument for you. And that would be, how long, A, do we get to use those excuses? B, how long are we going to wait for him to bring them to the next level, right? He's been here 7 years. They've made the playoffs 6 of those. 2 seed, 1 seed, 1 seed, 7, 7, 7. Well, that doesn't show signs of improvement, despite the fact that your roster was upgraded this season, right? So I think that's the point. He's getting predictable. It's getting stale, like we said with McCarthy. That's what the other side would say. I don't agree with those things, but those are the arguments I've heard, which some of them fair, some of them unfair. So I guess I get the conversation around Matt LaFleur. I just think if you fired him, he'd get a job like that. He'd get a job instantly. You think, talk about the Titans, who they traded for Malik Willis from. You think the Titans wouldn't call up Matt LaFleur immediately and offer him the job without interviewing for it? You think a team like the Giants with a young up-and-coming offense wouldn't immediately snap up Matt LaFleur? I'm not ready to move on from him. I'd give him at least another year. I think he deserves one more year. I don't think the leash is as long as it's always been, but I think he gets at least one more year. All right, keeping an eye on those scores. Philly is in front now. They just scored a touchdown. It's 14-10 in Philadelphia. Eagles lead the Commanders, and the Lions are in the red zone it's first and goal, looking to add on to their already 13-point lead. So all of a sudden, it might be attention on the Eagles, not the Bears, next week for Green Bay. You're the 7th seed. You're going to play the best team that doesn't have a bye. And frankly, I think we'd all be in agreement that the Eagles, despite the Bears beating them on Black Friday, the Eagles are a better team than the Bears. So that makes a little bit more sense for me, what it looks like perspective. They're more of a real threat. But boy, was I really looking forward to going to Chicago next week. Root hard for the Commanders if you want to see the Bears next week. Root hard for the Commanders. 3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, co-host of Wilde and Tauscher, the Packers Insider at channel3000.com. Jason Wilde joins us coming up next from U.S. Bank Stadium right here on Green Bay Game Night.
We're back with Green Bay Game Night after this on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
It's December, which means it's truck weather, and nobody helps you gear up like Metro Ford of Madison. Right now, get a 2025 Ford F-150 with 0% APR for 60 or 66 months, with $0 down and no payments for 90 days. The 2025 F-150 2.7L SDX is here with 0% APR, plus $1,250 retail bonus cash, $1,000 open bonus cash, and $1,000 MBC. But hurry, offers end January 5th. It's truck weather, so make it count today at MetroFordofMadison.com.
As a single mom of a young child, I second-guessed if college was even doable. But I'm so glad I didn't let that stop me. At Madison College, I'm getting the support I need, and the advisors have helped me every step of the way, including navigating admissions and the financial aid. My advice to others? Do this for you. There's more to your story at Madison College. Visit madisoncollege.edu to get started.
Hi, this is Lee, inviting you to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. We got a great happy hour every day of the week from 4 o'clock to 7, and our patio during the summer is open too. If you're getting married, special occasion, a birthday, anniversary, or even a business meeting, we've got all the accommodations right here at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. You work hard and sometimes you're not sure what you want to do, where you want to spend your money. I want to encourage you to come into Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and say hello. It'd be a pleasure to meet you.
One call, that's all. It's not just a slogan, but a way of life at Gruber Law Offices. If you've been injured, call our team today. We've represented tens of thousands of injured Wisconsinites for well over 30 years. Trust Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
Home is where the heart is, and at the heart of every home is a warm furnace. Let Shackelford Heating and Cooling ensure your residence receives the best Dane County has to offer. HVAC repair since 1986, their experienced contractors are Carrier certified, specializing in replacements and service for residential customers. Plus, they offer affordable financing and energy-saving solutions. Schedule your install or maintenance evaluation today at shackelfordheating.com. Shackelford Heating and Cooling. Quality work guaranteed.
Pro Volleyball is back in Madison. The 2026 Love Madison schedule is here. Setter of the Year Lauren Carlini and hometown favorite Claire Chaussee return to the court, ready to lead a powerhouse lineup of world-class talent. Get ready for non-stop action. Every serve, every volley, and every win, right here in Madison. Don't miss your chance to be a part of the unforgettable moments all season long. Visit lovb.com to check out the full schedule and secure your seats today. Volleyball is the next major league.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right and naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about anything, from the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys. Tito's is known for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Inc., Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
You're listening to Green Bay Game Night on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
Green Bay Game Night continues. ESPN Wisconsin 620 WTMJ. I'm Alex Strope in for Homer tonight as the Packers lose their regular season finale in Minnesota to the Vikings, a final of 16-3. This makes me giggle. The last second field goal by Brandon McManus avoids the shutout in the junior varsity Packers loss to the Vikings. Joining us now is the 3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year. He is the Channel3000.com Packers reporter and the co-host of Wilde and Tauscher weekdays from 9 until noon on ESPN Wisconsin. He is our buddy Jason Wilde. That was a game, Jason.
It was. And it was what you and I and just about everybody expected, right? Like, it was probably a little bit worse than I expected for Clayton Tune. They finished with -7 net passing yards because of the sack yardage. But, thought the defense was fine considering who they were playing with. And most of, again, and I don't know if you heard me ask this of LaFleur, but I think it was patently obvious that what happened in last year's regular season finale, when all they could gain was moving up from the 7th seed to the 6th seed, was devastating to him. Watching Christian Watson leave on a cart and watching him writhing in pain with a torn ACL on the turf with, I think it was on like a 9th or 10th snap of the game. And he was hell-bent on not having that happen again, not after seeing Elton Jenkins break his leg and not seeing Devontae Wyatt have a major ankle injury. And then obviously after seeing Micah Parsons blow out his ACL and Tucker Kraft blow out his ACL, he was not going to risk that. And if that, gives his critics the opportunity to say, well, they've lost 4 in a row entering the postseason and all the other things, I'll give Matt LaFleur this. Like, he did what he thought was right, and he definitely felt like this was the right decision. But it was hard to watch. There's no two ways about it. You guys, as we discussed this morning, you guys were right. It was a tough game to watch.
It sure was, but it is in the rear view now as we continue to look forward. The Eagles currently leading the Commanders. They just scored a touchdown. The Commanders punted it back to them. They're up 4. It's 14-10 in Philly in that one, and the Lions just continue to add field goals. It's 16-0 as the third quarter is coming to a close in Chicago. So it looks like the Lions are gonna. Well, I shouldn't jinx anything because we've seen many late game comebacks by Chicago. They've had plenty of late game comebacks, but 0 points through the first 3 quarters for the Bears as they trail the Lions 16-0. So right now, if these results hold, the Packers will go to Philly next week, and Chicago will play either the Niners or the Rams. Real quick, Jason, want to get an update on 2 players who left today's game. The post-game injury report presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. Visit orthowisconsin.com today for info. Let's start with your guy, who you were hoping to see on both sides of the ball. I'm not sure we ever saw him on defense. Bo Melton, is he all right?
I don't know if he's all right. He was able to hobble off. His injury forced them to then have to play Jaden Reed, who they didn't intend on playing.
Right.
And he did not return. And obviously the other injury was the Javon Bullard. I didn't get to talk to Bo, so I don't know if his is minor. But we did get to talk to Javon Bullard, who said he just hyperextended his knee a little bit. He's fine. So they're not concerned about that, at least.
That's good. It sounded like Matt LaFleur was rather optimistic about his injury as well, and he's a big part of this defense. So hopefully he is okay. So what are the guys doing right now? Are they scoreboard watching? Are they watching these games? Are they on the team play? Like, what is as you await to see where the heck you're going? Likely could be as soon as 6 days from now, but a week from today. What is their order of operations?
Yeah, they may be wheels up already. Maybe that's a little premature, but it's obviously a short flight from Minneapolis to Green Bay, and they're probably paying attention like we are. I've got in the press box here at U.S. Bank Stadium, I've got both games on, trying to watch, but I'm always reminded in moments like this, because this is what fans feel. Like, this affects my life, so I'm like kind of rooting for different things to happen or not happen, and you have no control over it. So it'll be interesting to see if the Bears come back. It'll be interesting to see if the Eagles, who are approaching this game the same way the Packers approached theirs, right? They're not playing all their best players.
A little different, but yes, they are playing their true backup quarterback.
Right, which the Packers, I think, would have too if he'd have been healthy. Which would have changed I think it's easy to forget that would have probably changed the dynamic here. Maybe not changed the outcome, but certainly changed the dynamic. So, again.
Oh, for sure.
I think we got what we were expecting. I was disappointed I did not get to see Bo Melton play in all 3 phases. You got to see Trayvon Diggs for 32 snaps, right? So that's something. But
what'd you make
Matt
of him?
LaFleur was very.
He got burnt by Justin Jefferson right away, but it seemed like he was fine.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think he was catastrophic. At the same time, I don't even know what his role is going to be, right? Like, what are they going to? What are they going to do with him? Like, is he an improvement over Carrington Valentine, who they benched during the Baltimore game in favor of Kamal Hadden, who then suffered the knee injury or the ankle injury, whatever it was? I don't know. I don't think he's a vital. I don't think he's going to be a vital piece unless they experience more injuries. So, again, Matt LaFleur made his goal very clear. He accomplished his goal. Now we get to find out if they can win a playoff game, depending on if they go to Philly or Chicago, having lost 4 straight to end the season.
Jason Wilde with us here on Green Bay Game Night across ESPN Wisconsin 620 WTMJ following the Packers' 16-3 loss to the Minnesota Vikings in the regular season finale. I imagine in your mind the more ideal matchup for the Packers to get a win wild card weekend would be in Chicago, correct?
I think so, but I do think, I'm not. Philadelphia is a pretty flawed football team too, right? Now, what they have,
everybody's flawed,
Bears,
to be honest with you.
Sure, but I'm looking at them as the defending Super Bowl champs, right? And they haven't played like it for a lot of the season, and yet they're still 11-5, which is and could be 12-5 depending upon what happens in the second half of their game. But the reason why, and players obviously were very careful about word choices and questions. There were a lot of questions about who would you rather face, and they wanted nothing to do with that, which I understand.
Sure.
But the fact of the matter is that the Bears have scored, by the way.
Sure have. I see that.
The biggest thing is that Philly is battle tested, right? They've won a Super Bowl. They've got a bunch of guys with a ton of playoff experience. The Bears do not, right? And so when you're trying to choose which team you'd rather see them face, they played really well against the Bears, and the Bears are the ones that would have less experience, frankly, than even the Packers have in the postseason as a team. They've got Tooney, they've got a couple of other guys, but that's about it. So,
yeah, I hear you on that. Jason Wilde with us. The Bears convert the 2-point conversion. It is a one-possession game in Chicago, 16-8, 14-16 to go. As soon as I say that one's about over, the fourth quarter comes and then the Bears do what the Bears have done all season, which is make things interesting. 16-8 in that one now. So Bears win, it's Packers-Bears. Bears lose, Eagles win, it's Packers-Eagles. Both teams lose, it's Packers-Bears. But the Eagles and Bears both in action here, so keeping an eye on that one. Was Jordan Love made available to you guys today? I'd be curious on his perspective on what today was.
He was not. But he did talk to the team, and the message was essentially, hey, let's go, turn the page. This is over. This doesn't matter. Let's get to work. And, of course, that's his messaging, right? That's his job. But, look, I think it's important to underscore the fact that he could have played. By the way, I did ask LaFleur about, having him active. And I'm sure you heard this, but he said that they would not have attempted a pass had he had something happen to Clayton Tune.
I have not heard that.
They would not have passed the ball. That was already decided ahead of time.
Okay, so they just would have gone run, punt.
Yep. Handoff. Yep.
And then punt, because we had 8 of those today, and Daniel Whelan was spectacular. I was apparently Tausch didn't remember this. I think you will, though. During the offseason, Baron Sorrell's father, Barry, was in our YouTube comments all the time saying 99 will shine. And indeed, 99 shined today. One of the bright spots of the Packers' loss in Minnesota. 8 tackles, a sack, a fumble recovery, a tackle for loss. I thought he was really, really good for them today. But again, I don't know how much to make of that given all the guys who didn't play. Did he earn any sort of role in the postseason? I would assume no, but maybe.
Yeah, I mean, he did some good things, and those are encouraging. He has played, he's been a healthy scratch, but he's also played, I don't have to look up how many snaps he's played, but, he hasn't been, taking a red shirt by any means. But, yeah, again, and I don't say this to be negative about Rashawn Gary or whatever, but, it's not like they have a bunch of guys that you're like, oh, where have they room to get this guy on the field? Because we got other guys we can't get off the field, right? Because they're too valuable.
Right.
Like, you're not putting, no matter what his dad wrote in the YouTube comments, which was great. That was fun and hilarious, and Barron and I talked about it when it was repeatedly happening. And but like he could help them, sure, but they don't have Micah Parsons anymore, who played like 85% of the snaps, and you never wanted to take him off the field. He was a high snap count guy, which not everyone is.
Yeah. I'd be curious, though, because, look, and Rashawn Gary's going to get his opportunities. But to see a rookie, and again, I understand he had a ton of opportunity. I haven't looked at the snap counts, but I imagine Sorrell played a ton of snaps. But to see him wreak some of the havoc he did today, I think you almost want to go, yeah, he should get some opportunity. Rashawn Gary hasn't had a tackle for loss in 10 games.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with saying, hey, this guy deserves 10 snaps a game or whatever it might be as a guy that can, get on the field. I don't know what they're going to do. We don't know who they're going to play, but there's a joke in there somewhere about the fact that Rashawn Gary was one of the guys that suited up and didn't play, but is there much of a difference, right? I mean, he has not been a factor, and now's the time. Like, Rodgers used to always say that you earn your paycheck in the regular season and you write your legacy in the postseason. If he comes out and sacks, Caleb Williams 3 times in the playoff game, or makes a huge play on Jalen Hurts, again, not knowing who they're going to play, if that happens, everything is largely forgiven. Like, I still don't think they bring him back next year, certainly not at his current cap number.
Right.
But, things can still change. He still has an opportunity to change the narrative about him. But as of right now, there's not a lot to be excited about. And that's why, I had a couple of people text me during the game. Is it wrong of me to be excited about Barron Sorrell in this kind of JV game because he had more of an impact than I've seen Rashawn Gary have? No, I think you're perfectly entitled to feel that way. But again, let's see what happens when. I mean, this was an exercise in get this over with and get the hell out of here kind of a thing. And so there's not a lot that can be taken away from it.
Yeah, totally agree with you. All right, last thing for you, Jason, is probably something I should have led with, but I was distracted by a bunch of other things. Clayton Tune. I imagine I don't want to call it a tryout because I would assume he'll probably be back next year in training camp and he'll have the opportunity to compete for a backup role if Malik Willis is to depart in free agency like we expect. But it was a trial run of sorts. What did you make of Tune, and what was the reaction from the head coach on the starting quarterback today?
I don't think it was fair to Clayton Tune one iota to view this as anything other than, hey, go out there and don't get killed because we don't want to put Jordan in, and try not to turn the ball over when we let you throw the ball 11 times. Because that's it, right? Like, he's playing with a backup offensive line. I know Jordan Morgan gave up 1 sack. They also had a sack that they gave up where it looked like they had their practice squad tight end, Drake Dabney, trying to block a edge rusher. That seems like a bad idea.
I would agree.
So that, I just don't think it is in any, I don't know if he's any good or not. At least now the last week and today, I've seen him throw 15 passes in an 11-on-11 setting, which I had never done before. But beyond that, I think Matt LaFleur knows that this was not representative of, you would like to see him have the same opportunity as a Malik Willis and see what he does with it. I doubt he's as good, but I can't say that for certain.
All right, there you have it. All right, we wait to see where the Packers will be heading next week. It's either Philly or Chicago. We will keep you posted on the scores as both of those games now in the fourth quarter. But Jason, we'll let you get back to work. Safe travels back to Green Bay, and we'll be listening to you tomorrow on Wilde and Tash beginning at 9 a.m. Thanks, buddy.
All right, guys. Take care. Be good.
the great Jason Wilde. Make sure you subscribe to the Extra Points newsletter over at channel3000.com. You'll get all of his game coverage, and there's a lot to unpack, especially as we head into the postseason starting this week. The Packers await their opponent, but we know they are the 7 seed and heading on the road Saturday, Sunday, or Monday. We don't know what day yet. I'm sure we'll find out during the Aaron Rodgers game coming up tonight, which I have failed to mention all day today. Aaron Rodgers with the opportunity to make the postseason. Sunday Night Football, Ravens-Steelers tonight is your nightcap and your regular season cap, the final game of the regular season. The winner goes to the postseason and hosts a home game next week as the 4th seed in the AFC, winning the AFC North. We will wrap up game night. Some final thoughts on the Packers' loss to Minnesota, as well as looking ahead to Wild Card Weekend. That is ahead as we wrap up Green Bay Game Night right after this.
More Green Bay Game Night coming up on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Want to move better, play faster, and compete at a higher level? Train where Wisconsin's top athletes go. Total Athlete Performance. From middle school phenoms to the pros, TAP is Madison's #1 destination for speed, power, and athleticism. Their proven systems, expert coaches, and cutting-edge equipment help you dominate your sport. Can't make it in? Train anywhere with the TAP mobile app. Spots are filling fast, so don't wait. Visit tapwisconsin.com to schedule your free athletic assessment today.
Experience hot gaming action and a relaxing spa day. Your perfect winter getaway at the island. Book a stay and float package to get both a standard room and a rejuvenating 60-minute float pod therapy session for less than $100. Complement your stay with an elevated dining experience at Horizon Steakhouse, followed by an evening of comedy in Club 41. The Island Resort and Casino's stay and float package runs through February. Call 800-682-6040 to book yours today. Certain days and restrictions apply.
Buying a new vehicle should be exciting, and that's what Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb aims to do. That's why they vow to give you the better buying experience. Jim Rutledge here. I've had 3 better buying experiences at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb, and I keep on going back because the experience and the Chevy is fantastic. So if you're looking for a buying experience you're going to want to repeat anytime you need a new or new-to-you vehicle, I recommend you make the short drive out to Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb, because you're only minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb.
We ask and you answer. Tune in to Jim, Matt, and Molly every weekday 4 to 6 and follow at Jim, Matt, Molly on X to vote in daily poll questions. Presented by Siding Unlimited, your local window installation pros.
Greg Scalzo here for Buck and Honeys. Congratulations to the perennial Best of Madison Award winner by the folks at Madison Magazine. Meet me at Buck and Honeys to celebrate Wisconsin hospitality. Whether you're enjoying the view on the Yahara River in Monona, exploring Wanakee, visiting the OG in Sun Prairie, or checking out the new location in Mount Horeb, you can enjoy the Buck and Honeys experience in a neighborhood near you. Serving lunch and dinner 7 days a week with brunch every Saturday and Sunday. I'll see you at Buck and Honeys.
Every event tells a story, from the first impression to the final moments. Have someone guide your guests through every chapter the way you want the story told. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With a strong presence, great voices, and an award-winning team, trust us to guide, direct, and inform your guests through all the different chapters of the day. For fun, memorable entertainment for any event, please visit us at celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
All day, every day, the Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
The Bucky Badger Student Mascot Fund was created to support the amazing student athletes who bring the best mascot in the world to life. Hey, my name is Stacy Bruner. I was Bucky Badger from 2010 to 2014. My most memorable sports moment was running out the flag at the 2013 Rose Bowl versus Stanford. Your donation will help fund new scholarships to ensure that the rich tradition of Bucky lives on. Learn more at supportbucky.org. That's supportbucky.org.
You're listening to Green Bay Game Night on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
Wrapping up Green Bay Game Night, ESPN Wisconsin 620 WTMJ. Packers fall in their regular season finale to the Minnesota Vikings, 16-3. Brandon McManus kicks a field goal with, a second left, I think it was, to avoid the shutout at least. And look, again, and I've said this is the thing I've said the most in the last 3 hours that we've been with you here on Green Bay Game Night, and that is the goal for Green Bay today was not to win the game. That was not the goal. The goal was to get out of there with the cleanest bill of health possible. And aside from Bo Melton and Javon Bullard, the Packers accomplished that. Now, Javon Bullard's one we'll keep an eye on throughout the week, but Jason Wilde, who just joined us, made it sound like that's a guy who's going to play next week. It's the playoffs, could be your last game. It's win or go home, obviously, from this point forward for Green Bay. So it's something to keep an eye on, but I would imagine he will play. And he's obviously a big part of what that Packers defense does, especially without Micah Parsons. So that was the only super concerning one. Obviously, Bo Melton, a really nice special teams piece. But I would imagine in a postseason game, he's probably not playing a whole lot of receiver. But then again, you never know with this Matt LaFleur offense. So a loss in Minnesota is a loss. It is what it is. The Packers finished the regular season 9-7-1. For the third straight season, they are the 7th seed in the NFC. But for the third straight season, they're headed to the postseason, which I don't want to sit here and say that's like winning the Super Bowl, but at least you're in the dance. At least you're giving yourself a chance. And Jordan Love had a couple weeks off, obviously didn't play against Baltimore, didn't play today, and only played the first half against Chicago. So anything he was dealing with, he should be healed from, and it should be full go for number 10 as the Packers look to make some noise in the NFL postseason. I think they can win no matter where they go next week. And I'm watching these games, and look, I get it's week 18, the 17th game of the season. And some of these teams are coming out flat. It looks like Chicago's finally starting to get their offense together as Colston Loveland gets inside the 15-yard line on a big pass from Caleb Williams. Bears down 8. It's 16-8 in that one. But Philadelphia doesn't look all that dominant against Washington and Josh Johnson either. But again, they're playing some of their backups as well. Saquon didn't play. Jalen Hurts didn't play. But certainly still both of these are ball games. Both of these are winnable for both of these teams. Bears get a win. It's Packers-Bears if they're able to come back and beat the Lions. If the Eagles win and the Bears lose, it's Packers-Eagles. Any other scenario, it's Packers-Bears. But the Bears lose, the Eagles lose, it's Packers-Bears. So 2 of the 3 scenarios would be Packers-Bears, which I think is what we all want naturally, right? You've seen this matchup twice. Packers win the first one at Lambeau. They needed an epic collapse to lose in Chicago. They were awesome and in control, even without Jordan Love in the second half, for the first 58-plus minutes of that game. And then all things went awry. All things went to hell. But you look at that matchup, and you look at the Bears' defense, which is not very good, other than forcing turnovers. That's a game you feel very good about winning without Tucker Kraft, without Micah Parsons. That's the matchup I want early. Get your sea legs, and then you go to Seattle in the divisional round if you win next week. And that's a tougher matchup. That's a different story. But that's the path is there. And the beautiful part about the NFL this season, and this will be kind of my closing thoughts before we get Owen's thoughts and we get out of here. The beautiful part about the NFL this year is it's very clear there's no great team. Right? I don't think you look at any team and go, they're unbeatable. Nobody can beat them. I mean, you look at Denver and you go, okay, that's a good team. You look at New England and you go, okay, that's a good team. But especially in the NFC, I don't know that you could look at any of these teams and go, they are unbeatable. They're world beaters. The Rams lost to the Falcons on Monday. They lost to the Seahawks the week before. They're playing the Cardinals right now, and they do have a 10-point lead, but they've allowed 20 points to the lowly Arizona Cardinals fourth quarter, 30-12, the Rams leading that one. You look at the Niners. Well, they scored 3 points last night. 3. And I know that Seattle defense is good, but the talk about San Francisco is, oh, well, that offense is so good, and even without the injuries, and Christian McCaffrey this, and Brock Purdy that, after putting up, 42 points on the Bears last week? 42-38 was the final in that one on Sunday Night Football. They come out and lay an egg, just about. 3 points is all they can muster up in a win and you're the number 1 seed game. So They certainly have their flaws. I mean, Chicago obviously has their flaws. We've highlighted that already. Carolina is under 500 and in the playoffs. So do you look at any of these teams in the NFC and go, well, the Packers can't beat them in a one game only, right? This isn't the NBA. This isn't the MLB. This isn't a best of 7 series. You just need to have a better 60 minutes than the other team. And I still feel very good about the Packers quarterback, the Packers head coach, and the Packers defensive play caller. I think in a majority of the matchups, you will look at those 3 categories: quarterback, offensive play caller / head coach, and defensive play caller. And the Packers might have a 3-0 advantage in most of those games, most of those matchups. And when you have those 3 things working in your favor, I think you have the opportunity to win a lot of games, which is why I still am holding out some confidence for the Packers despite the injuries and despite the 4-game losing streak entering the postseason, which is really only a 3-game losing streak. Today was a palate cleanser. Today the important players were out and didn't play and didn't see the field, and they knew winning was not the priority today. You know, reset your mentals and get ready for next week. That's the priority. And holy smokes, the Bears just tied it up. Unbelievable catch there by Cole Kmet. It is 16-16 with 5.5 minutes to go. Bears-Lions. So the Bears, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but you're rooting for the Bears all of a sudden now that they've tied it up against Detroit. Because now Washington has tied it up as well. So that game's 17-17 with 9.5 to go. Root for one of them. Pick your poison. You're either rooting for the Commanders to win or the Bears to win if you want Packers-Bears next week. Owen Dimple, our producer, back at the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison. We've got about 90 seconds to get out of here. I assume you are amongst the majority of Packers fans. You would like to see Packers-Bears next week, yes?
Yes, I would prefer seeing the Bears, but the Packers would still have to put forth a better effort than they have the past 4 weeks.
Yeah, look, I mean, going into the postseason without winning a game in a month is a scary stat. All right, if they play a week from today, let's just assume they're playing Sunday. It's January 11th. They have not won a game since December 7th. That's over a month without a victory. I mean, that's a concerning statistic. But is it the end of the world? No. Because I truly do believe this, and this might be one of my dumber things I've said, but I also think there's some credence to it. I believe today was the palate cleanser. Like, the message to the stars, the guys that will have the biggest impact on the game next week. Think about your 5 offensive linemen, your running back, your quarterback, your top receivers, your top corners, your top defensive linemen, your linebackers, your safeties. Most of those 22 guys, like you look at your top 22, top 11 on each side of the ball, maybe one of those top 22 played today in Evan Williams. Maybe 2 of them if you count Javon Bullard. That's it. So they knew, hey, you're going to get a week off. Reset your mentals. Get ready for whatever the challenge is on the road next week, whether that be Chicago or Philadelphia. And let's go. It's a new season. Everybody's 0-0. Everybody's 0-0. All right, thanks to Gary Ellerson. Thanks to Mark Tauscher. Thanks to Jason Wilde. And, of course, thanks to everybody running the show for us tonight. Owen Dimple, our producer in Madison, and the guys helping out here in Milwaukee, Evan Witzhallison and Will Summers, as always. We'll see what the game time is. 3 hours before, whatever the game time is Green Bay Game Day, and immediately following the final whistle. Homer's back with you next week, whether that be Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, on Green Bay Game Night here on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
Put a little wow in your winter at the 31st Annual Lake Geneva Winterfest and America's Snow Sculpting Invitational, January 28th through February 1st. Watch 15 top teams create breathtaking masterpieces in snow right before your very eyes. Enjoy bonfires on the beach, a kids' play area, live entertainment, and a sparkling downtown ice